After the real young master returns, you, the fake young master, take the initiative to leave. But the real young master grabs you by the arm. How could my little brother leave? This is your home. It turns out the real young master had been reborn. In his last life, sudden wealth had blinded him. He not only failed to stop you from leaving, he also mocked you with cutting words. But, in the end, when his fiancée schemed for the family fortune and starved him to death, you avenged him and exposed those people's crimes to the world. But because of that, you were kidnapped and plunged into the sea with them. Clearly, you had not only made a name for yourself in the entertainment industry, you were also about to marry a Beijing elite circle heiress. Yet you suffered a sudden disaster because you got involved in his business. At that moment, the real young master was filled with remorse. Fortunately, he was reborn. In this life, he would be your shield and make sure your path in the entertainment industry went smoothly, so you would never again suffer online harassment or casting couch abuse. As for the people who killed them and his parents too, they had plenty of time. He guaranteed none of them would get away. The Fang family hurriedly held a press conference to announce your identity, and under Lu Jinnian's firm insistence, you became the Fang family's young master. The fake young master? That did not exist. A Yuan was his biological little brother. Who would dare say you're fake? After the press conference ended, the Mu family, who was in a marriage alliance with the Fang family, came sniffing around right away. Although the press conference made it sound nice that both of you were real young masters, that was just a line to fool the outside world. For a family like the Miss, who were also one of the wealthy elite, they did not buy that explanation at all. When Wanning saw him again, even though Lu Jinnian had already calmed down and had prepared himself mentally in advance, a fierce killing intent still leaked from him. You, standing beside him, were just about to say something to Lu Jinnian when you saw the gloom in his eyes and the murderous look he gave Wanning. You were startled and instinctively grabbed Lu Jinnian's hand with concern in your voice. Brother, are you sick? Did you not sleep well last night? The moment your little hand pressed against his, Lu Jinnian snapped fully awake, hearing your worried words. His nose stung. His Yuan was truly flawless. He thought, out of place, that he finally understood the devastating pull of a white moonlight. Seeing that Lu Jinnian still had not answered, you raised your voice a little. He hurriedly replied, I'm fine, a Yuan. A Yuan. It was just that I really didn't sleep well last night, but once I get used to it, it'll be fine. You lean close together, whispering to each other, not far away. Wanning, who was thinking over what her parents had said on the way here, snapped out of her thoughts and looked toward the two men standing at the stair landing. To be honest, she had resisted the engagement that had been set up 2 years ago. However, she had resisted it, with the family finances still in her parents' hands, and because you were indeed good-looking, she had not objected. At worst, she could keep a few more men outside, the kind who would kneel before her, flatter her, and coax her. As for men from wealthy families as well, whether they were spoiled, domineering rich heirs, or independent, intelligent CEOs groomed to meet the standards of a family heir, she did not like any of them. She did not like any of them. As for someone like you, simple and handsome, she did not like you either. But you were easier to handle than the first two types. She could sweet-talk her way into keeping the home front spotless, while keeping a mistress outside. But who could have guessed that you were actually the fake young master? Originally, this engagement was for business cooperation. How could a fake young master be worthy of her? As for her parents wanting to switch marriage partners, she understood, but she was frustrated. That guy who had been exposed as a kept man outside the home, living an ordinary life, should have been able to match exactly the type she liked. But once he got rich overnight, people like that were the easiest to change inside. He might not only be disobedient, but also vulgar, domineering, and impossible to deal with. She looked up, studying Lu Jinnian beside you. He was dressed in a white suit, but there was a hint of weariness in his face. He did not seem pampered and spoiled like you. Maybe it was just the wear and tear of living like an ordinary person, running around outside. But none of that was a problem. He could be polished up. Still, Lu Jinnian took after Uncle Fang in looks. Bright and elegant, not ugly. In fact, very handsome. But he looked too sharp-edged, and she kept feeling that in the way Lu Jinnian looked at her, there was something distinctly unfriendly. Just thinking about marrying someone like that made her feel awful. Mr. and Mrs. Fang had already finished talking with Mr. and Mrs. Mu, their faces dark with anger. The Mu family really could not wait. They had only held a press conference this morning. and already they were here demanding to switch the marriage alliance partner. Every word they said was laced with disdain for their two sons. They looked down on you for being the fake young master with unclear lineage, and they looked down on Jinnian for having been kept outside the home, calling him crude and uncouth. They were treating the Fang family with no respect at all. Might as well call off this engagement. This marriage was originally arranged because they worried you were too naive and could not carry the company on your own. They wanted to find you someone you could truly trust and confide in, so they made the arrangement. Now that Jinnian was back, the two brothers got along well and would be able to discuss things together and rely on each other in the future. There was no need for this awful marriage alliance to bring in an outsider to share the risk. Thinking of that, Mr. and Mrs. Fang forced down their irritation at Mrs. Fang's glance. Mr. Fang put on a smile and waved to the two brothers who were whispering to each other, not far away at the stair landing. Jinnian, Yuan, come here. Your mom and dad have something to discuss with you. You pulled Jinnian over and sat down beside Mr. Fang. Seeing his two sons seated beside him, Mr. Fang's gaze darkened. That brat from the Mu family was not worthy of either of his sons. He collected himself, just about to ask something, when Jinnian spoke first. Mom, Dad, I heard you once arranged a marriage engagement for Yuan, just now at the stair landing. I vaguely heard you talking with this uncle and Annie about changing the marriage partner. I assume the one sitting over there. The Miss Mu who was engaged to a Yuan, right? No offense, Mom and Dad, but what era are we living in now? Are arranged marriages still a thing? I know wealthy family alliances are meant to expand your business empire and strengthen cooperation between the two families. But there are so many people in this circle. As long as you keep dating within this circle, you can still achieve that goal. What I mean is, I don't agree to this engagement. Yuan didn't look happy to see her, and I don't think she's very keen on him either. Let's call off this engagement. Besides, some people already look down on us. Hearing Jinnian's words, you and Mr. and Mrs. Fang all lit up. His words might have been a little rude, but they hit the nail on the head. As for the Mu family, Mr. and Mrs. Mu were livid, apparently furious at Jinnian's bluntness, and Mu Wanning looked utterly incredulous. She hadn't expected to be so utterly despised. Thinking back on what her parents had told her on the way here, she frowned and forced herself to speak through her irritation. Mr. Liu, this is only our first meeting, yet you're already speaking with sarcasm, making me sound worthless. Isn't that a little uncultured of you? She thought her pushback would make Jinnian feel embarrassed. She never expected Jinnian to simply agree. He looked completely shameless. Yeah, sure, I am uncultured. I never took etiquette lessons. I grew up outside the family home. I was spoiled by my foster parents since I was little. After they passed away, I had to scrape by on my own out in the world, with no one to rely on. The so-called manners you talk about, I never learned them, and no one taught me. I only learned to say what needs saying and tell the truth. I'm not targeting you. I just told the truth. Since when are people not allowed to tell the truth? At those words, Mu Wanning furrowed her brow deeply. For someone like her, who was always being pampered and flattered, Jinnian's words were truly hard to accept. If not for the elders present, she would have exploded and turned on him already. Thinking of her parents' instructions on the way over, she had no choice but to swallow it. If she wanted to get her hands on the Mu family's equity stake, she had to secure her position through a marriage alliance. She was indeed there, but she was not the Mu family's only child. Her dear father had countless illegitimate children, and her mother had more than one child as well. To say nothing of the rest, just her full-blooded younger sister alone was already a threat to her. She needed a marriage alliance to add leverage, and the Fang family was her best choice. Only two sons, and one of them wasn't even biological. In a family like that, once she married in, wouldn't they be completely at her mercy? She had already thought it all through. First, the marriage alliance. Then she would use the Fang family's power to secure Mu family shares. Once she had fully secured her place in the Mu family and taken control of the Mu group, the Fang family could step aside. By then, this so-called husband would be nothing more than a pretty ornament at home, and the Fang family would be in her pocket. They would be reserve stock to cover the Mu family's risks. The day she needed them, that would be the end of the Fang family. In a civilized society, murder is illegal, but if you have money, there are plenty of people willing to be the knife that never gets bloody. A few lives meant nothing. Thinking that, her eyes grew even darker. Getting no answer, Jinnian didn't get angry either. Watching Mu Wanning's eyes darken further, he sneered inwardly. Scheming again. You still think I'm the same sucker from my last life? This time, I'll send you to hell. Seeing that no one spoke, Mrs. Fang hurriedly broke the silence. You see, it's not that the Fang family has any problem with you. It's just that we really can't go through with this engagement. Jinnian has been outside the family all these years, and we owe him far too much. To make up for that, we don't want to interfere too much in the rest of his life. As long as he's happy, that's enough. As for Yuan, though we've raised him for a long time, he's not our biological son in the end. He's grown now. He has his own considerations and plans. How could we keep interfering? You'd have watched Yuan grow up as well. And you know his one true passion has always been acting. Because before, he was our only child. He had no choice but to give up his dream. Now that we have Jinnian, that doesn't count as interfering with his choice. If he wants to chase his dream, he's bound to enter the entertainment industry. He's still young. Having a fiancé would only get in the way of his acting career. After weighing everything, they concluded that, I think it's better to call off this engagement. As soon as she heard that, before Mr. and Mrs. Mu could even speak, Mu Wanning was the first to panic. Without the engagement, how was she supposed to get the shares and run the Mu group? She shot to her feet, her tone anxious. This engagement can't be broken. I know Mr. Liu only just came home, and he can't accept someone like me who's already had an engagement with someone else. Changing the marriage alliance was my parents' decision. I never had that idea myself. Yuan loves acting. He'll be entering the entertainment industry in the future. But that won't stop us from getting married. We can keep it a secret. And Yuan is going to be an actor, not an idol. Dating and marriage won't affect him. Before she could finish, Lu Jinnian sprang up from the sofa and slapped her across the face. He used too much force, and Mu Wanning's face was slapped sideways. Lu Jinnian snapped. A few drinks and you think you're hot stuff. But if you set your sights on Yuan, you're flirting with death. Don't think Mom, Dad, and Yuan don't know, and that you can fool them. Today, I'm not sparing you any face. Right in front of your parents. Let's make this clear. Lu Jinnian paused, then looked toward Mr. and Mrs. Mu, who had stood up in the living room. After seeing their daughter slapped, his tone dripped with mockery. You know, before I came back home, I worked plenty of jobs. One of them was even as a waiter at a famous hotel. Other people might not know, but I know the whole story. You rich young ladies, there are plenty who keep male celebrities and college boys as kept men. As Lu Jinnian spoke, fear rose in Mu Wanning's eyes. How could she have imagined that this real young master knew her secrets? No wonder from the very first time he saw her, he'd been looking at her with that openly hostile gaze. It's all over. She never should have shown up at the Fang family home today. She was kicking herself for it. But Lu Jinnian clearly had no intention of letting her off. He kept exposing the true face Mu Wanning had been hiding. Why am I bringing this up? Because it's you, of course. Miss Mu Wanning. If I remember correctly, just yesterday, right before I was brought back to the family, I was still cleaning up the mess left behind by the guest who booked the room the day before yesterday. And wouldn't you know it, that hotel room, which still reeked of sleaze at checkout, used your ID when it was booked. And that ID belonged to you, Miss Mu. I was at work when I ran into the woman who was supposed to be my fiancée, while she was checking into a room with another man. How melodramatic. How unbelievable. When you heard that, your face drained of color, and you looked at Mu Wanning in disbelief. You didn't have feelings for this fiancé to begin with. But before your identity was exposed, you were still carrying the title of the Fang family's young master. And Mu Wanning, as your so-called fiancé, was supposed to honor the engagement and marry you. She was fooling around that brazenly, and not even trying to hide it. She was so brazen that even the hotel staff knew exactly what was going on. You couldn't even bear to imagine it. If brother hadn't come back, if all of this hadn't blown up, would your whole life end up ruined by this woman? At that moment, your hands and feet went ice cold, as if noticing the change in you. Lu Jinnian stepped beside you and took your cold hand. Don't be afraid. I'm here. You will not marry trash like that. She's not worthy. Mr. and Mrs. Fang were so furious their faces turned red. They never expected the fiancé they'd carefully chosen for their son would turn out to be such a piece of work in private. That kind of trash isn't fit for anyone at all. She should spend her life alone. Mrs. Fang forced down her rage and gave them the boot. The Fang family's son will never marry someone like that. The engagement was only a private verbal agreement. There's no need for a press conference. I, Fang Xiaoming, am making this announcement myself, that the engagement between our two families is cancelled. Now, take that trash daughter of yours and get out of my house. Mr. and Mrs. Mu had not expected this either. They were completely caught off guard, too ashamed to stay any longer. They could only slink off, dragging Mu Wanning with them. Just wait until we get home. Then I'll deal with you. Mrs. Mu was livid. She couldn't care less about her image now, and started shoving her outright. Mu Wanning was still stunned that her secret had been exposed, and let her parents drag her away. By the front gate, Mr. and Mrs. Mu had already stepped outside, and only then did she come to her senses. She turned back to Lu Jinnian and said, Mr. Feng, this is a misunderstanding. How could that possibly have been me? I can explain. Seeing that she still dared to speak up, Lu Jinnian strode over and slapped her. The blow sent Mu Wanning stumbling sideways. He shoved her straight out the door. What a joke. A rotten piece of trash. Our humble Fang family home is too small to host the likes of you. After saying that, he did not give her another chance to speak. He slammed the door shut. With the front door closed, the room fell silent once more. Clearly, all three people in the room had been shocked by Lu Jinnian's actions. Brother, does your hand hurt? Your one sentence broke the quiet in the room. Lu Jinnian looked down at his slightly reddened hand and said helplessly, Yeah, force goes both ways. My physics teacher wasn't lying after all. After driving the Mu family out, the group sat back down. Originally, they had been planning to discuss the two boys' future. But before Lu Jinnian and you even came downstairs, the Mu family had already shown up. Now that they were gone, they could finally talk about the important matters. Mrs. Fang cleared her throat and spoke first. Yuan, Mom and Dad know you've always loved acting. That's why you even studied performance in college. Before, because you were our only child, we had no choice but to make you suppress that passion and put all your energy into finance. Now that Jinnian is back, we have two sons. We asked Jinnian in private what he planned to do in the future. He said he liked making money, and he was willing to learn how to take over the company. Your father and I talked it over and wondered if we could hand the company over to Jinnian. That way, you can chase your dream in the entertainment industry without any worries. Of course, we're not playing favorites, and we don't mean to keep you out of the company. If you want to give up acting and join the company, we'd agree to that too. That's the situation. You and Jinnian aren't children anymore. We don't want to make the decision for you. So let's put it out in the open. Let's hear what you both want. What do you think? Hearing that, your eyes lit up instantly. Even your voice carried a hint of urgency. Really? Mom and Dad are willing to let me enter the entertainment industry. Mr. Fang's eyes turned red. He actually didn't want you to enter that soul-crushing entertainment industry. It's far too ruthless in there. But you love acting. Love bringing different lives to life. Then there's no better place for you than the entertainment industry. Yuan, we do agree. But you have to protect yourself. Understand? Upon hearing that, you nodded right away. You never expected that you'd still get a chance to make your dream come true. Seeing how worried Mr. Fang looked, Lu Jinnian took Mr. Fang's hand and comforted him softly. Dad, you're worried that Yuan will get hurt, but that's really unnecessary. Setting everything else aside, as long as Yuan has the Fang family backing him, he won't have too much trouble in the entertainment industry. Setbacks may happen, but without going through storms, how can you ever see a rainbow? Yuan loves this kind of life. So even if it's a little hard, he'll still be happy. As Lu Jinnian spoke, he shot you a quick look, signaling for you to reassure him. You caught his meaning. Dad, what brother said is right. I still have all of you, and I'll protect myself. I love acting. I'm willing to fight for my dream. Please believe in me. Seeing that Mr. Fang had gotten his reassurance, his mood finally settled down. Lu Jinnian looked at Mrs. Fang. I'm willing to take over the company, but when it comes to business and company operations, I'm not very experienced. Before I take over, I need to learn. I need experience. Until then, please keep running the company for now, Mom. You've worked hard, Mom. The Fang family was planning for the two children's future, while the Mu family, who had already left, returned to their own villa. Mrs. Mu flew into a rage. She slapped Mu Wanning across the face. You ungrateful brat. I don't care if you go out fooling around, but you really think the rules don't apply to you now. You even brazenly took a man to a hotel room. And of all people, the Fang family found out. Well, now look at this. The engagement is gone. You've brought shame on the Mu family. Get back to your room and reflect on what you've done. Your current work will be handed over to your younger sister. As for your position as heir, I need to reconsider that too. Back in her room, Mu Wanning smashed everything in sight. Damn it, how did Jinnian find out? Why did he have to come back? If he had never been brought back, none of this would have reached the Fang family. I would have married a Yuan without any trouble, used that to get the shares and control the company. Instead of ending up like this, the few projects she was handling were already in the late stages. She knew exactly how much money they would bring the Mu family. Now all of it had been handed to her younger sister for free. Her phone rang, suddenly in the wrecked room. She looked at the familiar name on the lit screen. She was about to hang up at once, her finger already sliding to the end call button, when something suddenly came to mind. She smiled, and it was anything but kind. A smile full of bad intentions. With a flick of her finger, she answered, Chen, do something for me. After Mr. Fang and Mrs. Fang leave, you looked at Jinnian with red-rimmed eyes. Your voice choking up. Thank you, brother. Clearly, I was the one who took your place. And now you're still thinking of me at every turn. Jinnian reached out and wiped the tears from the corner of your eyes. Why are you crying? Don't cry. I'm your brother. Taking care of you is what I should do. As for the switch in our identities, that was an accident. I don't blame you. It wasn't your fault. Back when your parents were still alive, they gave me the very best of everything they could. Now that they're gone, don't worry. The Fang family is your home. Dad, Mom, and I are all your family. We've got everything covered. Go after your dream without holding back. We'll always be behind you, supporting you. As Jinnian spoke, he thought of his past life. You had no experience at all when you plunged straight into the entertainment industry. In the end, you ran into a trash company and a trash manager. They skimmed off a huge cut of your earnings, and under their sweet talk and threats, forced you to take a lot of terrible scripts. In the end, you nearly lost your innocence. If Ningbing hadn't stepped in forcefully and pulled you out, your life would have been ruined. Thinking of that, Jinnian looked at you with blazing eyes. A Yuan. There are a lot of bad people in the entertainment industry. Don't go in with blind enthusiasm, without doing any background checks. You have to choose your talent agency and manager carefully. Got it. Being stared at by Jinnian like that, you felt a little lost, but you knew he was doing this for your own good, so there was no reason not to listen. You quickly nodded. After settling things with you, Jinnian immediately drove out of the garage in a random car. He was going to find Ningbing, the one who treated you as her white moonlight, the one who had always protected you. Ningbing, even though he had been reborn, rebirth only gave him experience, not intelligence. If he wanted to run the company well, he needed help. If he wanted to deal with his enemies, he needed allies. The Fang family was wealthy, but their business wasn't in entertainment. If he wanted to protect you in that filthy entertainment industry, he needed someone in the entertainment industry who could turn the whole industry upside down with a single word. The Shangxi Group, a top-tier company with businesses spanning every field. Among all the industries Shangxi was involved in, its entertainment subsidiary, Starfield Entertainment, was the most outstanding. Ningbing, the only daughter of Qinghan, the largest shareholder of the Shangxi Group, the Shangxi Group's only legal heir, a woman who had been wildly in love with you since university and in your past life, shielded you, ignored every rumor, and fought her way through the entertainment world for your acting career. She was unquestionably the best choice. Jinnian wasn't all that smart, but he knew how to latch onto a powerful backer. He decided to gamble and lay everything bare with Ningbing, borrow her influence, and launch his own plan. Jinnian seemed to be in luck. The drive was smooth all the way to Shangxi Group's headquarters. After showing the appointment he'd set up the night before, he was taken to the CEO's office on the top floor. Ningbing, in a white dress, sat in the office chair, her still young face full of impatience. Mr. Liu, if I remember correctly, we haven't met before. You only just returned to the Fang family, and you're already here to see me. Is there something you absolutely had to say? If not, I'll have my assistant see you out. After saying that, she said nothing more. It was clear she didn't want to deal with Jinnian. Before coming, Jinnian had already prepared himself. Ningbing was brutally sharp-tongued. After all, she was the only daughter. the family's sole heir, and her looks were stunning. Wherever she went, she was the center of attention. Over time, she was terrible with words, but once she opened her mouth, she could make anyone furious. Just because of that mouth. In his past life, when she helped you, she thought she was pursuing you, but you once thought this rich heiress wanted to keep you as her kept man. So, when she showed interest in you, you turned her down again and again. If you hadn't been backed into a corner at the end, you never would have agreed to her. That also led to a lot of misunderstandings later on. In the end, it took you a long time to struggle your way into each other's arms. But because of your foolish decision back then to marry Wanning, you were torn apart by life and death. Thinking of that, the tip of Jinnian's nose stung. He looked again at his future sister-in-law, and tears welled in his eyes. Seeing Jinnian cry, Ningbing couldn't sit still. She shot to her feet, still inexperienced in the ways of business. She was panicked now, and pointed at him while hiding behind the chair. Hey, if you want to cry, cry outside. Anyone who doesn't know better would think I did something to you. I didn't touch you. Don't try to frame me. Seeing Ningbing like that, Jinnian couldn't hold it in anymore. He forced the tears back down. How had he forgotten? Ningbing hadn't even graduated yet. She was just interning at home. At this stage, when she had only just entered society, she was just a sharp-tongued college student. She was nothing like the ruthless and battle-hardened CEO she would become later, the little-by boss who ruled the business world. That was too hasty. But he was already here. The arrow was on the string, and had to be fired. At the very least, Ningbing had been raised personally by Qinghan, that old tyrannical female CEO. Even if she wasn't as shrewd as she would be later, she shouldn't be this innocent little sweet fool, who knew nothing about finance or business. He still had to follow the plan, latch onto a powerful backer. Ningbing, what I'm about to say is very important. I'm not lying to you. You can check. This time, I don't want my stupidity to leave you and Yuan separated by life and death again. Ningbing was full of caution. When she heard Yuan's name, a trace of darkness flashed in her eyes. Flashed and vanished. She was back to that same innocent, dim-witted look. She barked, Hey, do you even know what you're saying? I know. You're bitter that your senior took your place. But that wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. How can you pin that on him? Besides, I heard he said himself that he wanted to leave. You were the one who wouldn't agree. And now you come here out of nowhere to curse him. Ningbing hadn't even finished before Jinnian cut her off directly. Ningbing, I'm telling you the truth. I can prove it to you. Tonight, Weibo will erupt with a hot search about a married top actress staging a group sex scandal at a hotel. The office fell silent. After a long moment, Ningbing sat back down in her office chair. She folded her hands on the desk, looking at Jinnian with an unreadable expression. So, Mr. Liu came all this way just to tell me this. Why? If you can't give me a reasonable explanation, then I think it'll be hard for you to walk out of Shangxi Group unscathed. Jinnian instinctively took a step back. He watched Ningbing go from someone whose eyes held the innocent, foolish air of a spoiled rich kid into someone with a deep, piercing gaze. A CEO who seemed able to see straight through people. At that moment, one phrase flashed through his mind: play the fool to outsmart others. No wonder she was Qinghan, the business prodigy's daughter. No wonder, in his past life, even so young, she could sit firmly in the CEO's seat at Shangxi Group and expand Shangxi's business empire even further. What a powerful backer. That was one seriously powerful backer. He was determined to latch onto it. When Jinnian walked out of Shangxi Group's doors, there was a well-dressed woman beside him. Ningbing might not fully believe him. After all, anyone faced with a stranger they'd never met, one who might even have friction with the person they secretly liked, would be on guard. And what he said about a past life was far too absurd. Her willingness to send someone probably also carried the idea of keeping an eye on him. But so what? The goal was all that mattered. He glanced at the woman driving, and a faint smile tugged at his lips. Jiami. In his past life, she had been Ningbing's most capable subordinate. He hadn't expected her to be following Ningbing this early. With her help, he should be able to get up to speed on the company's business quickly. In this life, he was going to seize every opportunity to hold up the Fang family, get revenge on his enemies, and pave the road for you. So you'd shine brilliantly and live a happy, perfect life. In the Fang family villa, you sat in the living room. Your slender fingers clacked away on the keyboard, as if you were searching for something. The sound of a key turning came from the entryway. You looked up from the screen, and at Jinnian as he pushed the door open and came in. The smile that had just appeared froze when your eyes landed on the unfamiliar woman behind him. It froze on your face. Brother, who is she? Jinnian changed his shoes and beckoned Jiami inside. A Yuan. Let me introduce her. This is the outside help I brought in. Mom said I should learn how to run the company. But you know me. I've never dealt with any of this. So I didn't want to disappoint Mom and went looking for help. Don't let her age fool you. She's incredibly capable. I went to a lot of trouble to finally borrow her from there. As Jinnian explained, Jiami, who was following beside him, was quietly sizing you up as you sat at the table. At that moment, you also looked very innocent, but that was not why she could not look away. Her gaze was fixed in shock on your left wrist. A black beaded bracelet hung quietly there. It was almost identical to the one on her boss by Ningbing's wrist. Almost exactly the same. It was not an expensive bracelet, and the workmanship was rough too. It was a soap-berry bracelet, with no ornaments at all. But her boss treasured it. As the heir to a multi-billion-dollar company, the clothes, shoes, and accessories she wore were all outrageously expensive. Yet for some reason, this cheap bracelet, no matter how her other accessories changed, always stayed firmly on her wrist. It had never been taken off. Thinking back to the last time she picked her boss up from a bar and brought her home, to what she'd overheard outside the house, she immediately understood. This was the senior her boss's friend had mentioned, the one her boss had secretly loved for years. No wonder her boss had sent her out herself, and sent her to stay beside a man who was obviously not right in the head. She thought this to herself. Jinnian was already sitting beside you. He glanced at your computer screen, and his brows knit slightly. What's wrong, brother? You asked, puzzled. Is this the talent agency you finally decided to sign with? Jinnian asked, pointing at the screen. On the screen, there was clearly the contact information for a talent agency, and you had already opened your mail, typing something. This company looks good in every way. You are not signing with this company. You were startled by Jinnian's suddenly raised voice, unable to understand why your brother, who had always been easy to talk to since he came back, was suddenly losing his temper. Of course, Jinnian was angry. In his past life, it was this company that put you through endless misery and nearly caused you to lose your virginity. In this life, this damn company could forget about tainting his Yuan again. Jinnian forced down the anger in his chest and explained patiently. I've looked into this company. They severely exploit the income of the artist under them. They also push artists out to sleep with people for opportunities. A company like that is a cancer in the entertainment industry. Be good. We're not signing with a company like that. Jiami, who had been pricking up her ears to eavesdrop nearby, heard Jinnian say that the man who seemed to be her boss's secret crush was going to enter the entertainment industry, and instantly perked up. This was a godsend. If she did not help her boss lure him into their own company, it would make her, as the CEO's special assistant, look incompetent. She cleared her throat and spoke as if casually. Sorry for interrupting so rudely. I heard the two of you talking about talent agencies and artists and that sort of thing. Are you looking to sign with an entertainment company? If this handsome gentleman wants to sign with an entertainment company, perhaps you could consider Starlight Entertainment. I can guarantee you with my reputation, you will not find a second company in the entertainment industry that is more conscientious or more promising than Starlight. Hearing that, Jinnian lit up. He had brought Jiami home with the intention of getting her to speak up and help you get into Starlight Entertainment. Given that he was not opening his own studio, Starlight was the best choice. Starlight's managers are all top tier in the industry, and their opportunities are second to none. There is a saying in the entertainment industry. Once you get into Starlight, as long as you do not self-destruct, you are guaranteed to make it big. Most importantly, Starlight is a subsidiary of Shangxi Group, and Shangxi's sole heir was by Ningbing. In his past life, after pulling you out of the exploitative agency you first signed with, after rescuing you from that skinflint company, by Ningbing sent you to Starlight Entertainment, where you were placed in the hands of its top manager. That laid a solid foundation for you to become best actor later on. If you joined Starfield, your future would be dazzling, and you would soar all the way. Thinking of that, Jinnian cleared his throat and looked at Jiami with blazing earnestness. Special Assistant Jia, look at our Yuan. His looks are outstanding, and he has been exposed to the arts since he was little. Besides, he is professionally trained. If he enters the entertainment industry, his career will absolutely shine. Just think about it. If he wants into Starlight, would that be difficult? Meeting the man's fervent gaze, Jiami looked away awkwardly. I'll call the boss. May I ask what this gentleman's name is? Of course, of course. Why wouldn't it be? This is our Fang family's young master, Fang Yuan. Jiami nodded and went to the corner to make the call. Once the two of them had finished talking, Yu leaned close to Lu Jinnian's ear and said softly, Brother, forget it. A company like Starlight would never take a complete newbie like me, someone who has not even entered the industry yet. Why wouldn't they? Yuan, you're this good. You deserve the best company. Just wait and see. After she finished the call, she would definitely bring back good news. While the Fang brothers were whispering to each other, Jiami had already reported the situation here in full detail to Bai Ningbing on the other end of the line. There was a long silence on the other end, so long that Jiami almost thought Bai Ningbing had hung up. Only then did she hear her ask, entering the entertainment industry, is that his own idea? Or Lu Jinnian's? Or the Fang family's? Jiami looked at Yu. Though there was some hesitation on her face, her eyes were full of longing. She said calmly, it was Mr. A Yuan's own idea. Let him in. Assign him to Su Wanru. Tell her, no special treatment is needed. Just allocate him resources like any newcomer. He does not like getting things for free. Let him work his way up with his own strength, step by step. But there is one thing. Make it clear to her. A Yuan is the man I have my eye on. Do not let any filthy nonsense touch him. Not even a little. Yes. Jiami hung up the phone. When she looked at Yu, a faint smile curved her lips. I guessed right. So it really is the one the boss secretly loves. Heh. Now there is finally someone who can keep the boss in check. Life is getting easier and easier. When the boss flies into a rage, there will be a shield to hide behind. With a professional smile, she walked over to the two boys. Mr. A Yuan, our boss has agreed to let you join Starlight Entertainment. When are you free? I'll take you to Starlight Entertainment's office to sign the contract. The sooner we sign the contract, the sooner we can arrange your work. Hearing that, you sprang to your feet. I can go right now. Please wait a moment. I'll go change clothes. After getting Jiami's nod, Yu ran upstairs. You chose a relatively formal outfit. Jiami drove. Yu and Lu Jinnian sat in the back seat. As for going to Starlight Entertainment to sign the contract, you still felt like you were dreaming. In fact, everything that had happened over the past 2 days was, for a flower like you who had been raised in a greenhouse, full of absurdity, like something out of a dream. The sun was bright, perfect for traveling, and the whole way was a green light. The low-key black Qinghan finally pulled up beneath the Starlight Entertainment building. Under Jiami's lead, Lu Jinnian and you passed through without any trouble, and reached Starlight Entertainment's reception hall. A fashionably dressed middle-aged woman was already waiting in the reception room. When she saw the two boys behind Jiami, her brows knit almost imperceptibly. Out of politeness, she invited the two boys to sit down, then smiled as she dragged Jiami outside. You'd better explain this to me. The boss's message clearly said, I was only supposed to bring one newcomer. And what happened? You brought me two at once. Jiami, with her fate in a chokehold, hurriedly patted the woman's hand. Wanru, let go. If you want an explanation, you have to let me speak first, don't you? Why are you yanking on my tie? You're choking me to death. If the boss finds out you tried to murder her most capable subordinate, you won't like the consequences. The woman let go of Jiami and gave a cold snort, her face full of impatience. All you ever do is threaten me with the boss. Spit it out. Jiami smoothed out the wrinkled tie that had been yanked askew and said unhurriedly, the boss really did only tell you to bring one person. The other one was brought by me. Before she had even finished, the woman instantly blew up. She grabbed Jiami's tie again. You clearly knew. My heart was shattered, and I just wanted to step back behind the scenes and take care of the new managers. I was already willing to take on the people the boss sent over, just for the boss's sake. And yet you actually used company business for personal gain. While working for the boss, you were sneaking in your own private agenda. With her throat grabbed again, even Jiami, for all her good temper, could not help getting angry. She swatted the woman's hand away and said sternly, Su Wanru, you can say I'm not a decent person, but you cannot insult my professional ethics. When did I ever use company business for personal gain or sneak in private motives? When are you going to rein in that temper of yours? Really? When will you change it? Listen to me finish. All right. As if startled by Jiami's seriousness, Su Wanru nodded. She stopped moving. Jiami straightened her clothes with satisfaction. Before continuing her explanation, the other person really was brought by me. He's the older brother of the newcomer you're about to take on. You are not the only one with a job to do. I do too. The boss asked me to teach him finance and how to run a company. Once I'm done with things on your end, I'll take him straight to the Fang family's company. As Su Wanru listened, she frowned and cut in, all in one breath. Wait. The Fang family's company? You're learning, so learn. But why go to the Fang family's company? Interrupted again. Jiami finally lost her patience. She gave Su Wanru a sharp bonk on the head. Can't you just let me finish? He is the Fang family's eldest young master. Of course he needs to go to the Fang family's company. That way we can treat the problem at its source and do a better job completing the task. I know you're definitely about to ask something else again. So shut up first. Just listen while I make this brief. Jiami said, glowering at Su Wanru. Seeing that she had no intention of interrupting, she continued. The newcomer you're going to take on is Fang Yuan, the Fang family's young master. He likes acting. He wants to get into the entertainment industry, and the boss has been secretly in love with him. Coincidentally, the Fang family has no entertainment-related business, so the boss got lucky and snagged him and brought him into her own company. The person I need to help is the Fang family's other young master, Jinnian. He seems to know something. That is what convinced the boss to help him. But I have a reasonable suspicion that it's because Jinnian is the real young master, and Fang Yuan is the fake young master. The boss was worried Jinnian might do something to hurt Fang Yuan, so she had me stay by his side under the pretense of helping him. Called helping, but really, it is surveillance, if I put it like that. Do you get it? You big idiot. Su Wanru looked stunned, still digesting what Jiami had just said. Well, damn. The boss actually has someone she likes. She still hasn't won over her crush yet. Oh wow. I found this girl's weak spot. If she ever uses the boss's name again to make me take on an artist, I'll have a reason to refuse. I'm helping you win a wife. I only have one pair of hands. Besides arranging work for your future wife, I'm not handling anything else. I'll be a total hands-off boss, doing one job, while still collecting a big paycheck. Haha. Watching Su Wanru go from shock to that odd grin tugging at her lips, Jiami could not hold back and bonked her on the head again. Enough. Put away that lecherous smile. Mr. Yuan doesn't know the boss likes him, and he may not even know who the boss is. Don't go spouting nonsense in front of him. Also, the boss asked me to tell you that Mr. Yuan doesn't like getting something for nothing. You don't need to give him any extra opportunities. Just give him the same opportunities as any new artist at the company. And one more important thing, the boss said, don't let those filthy, sleazy things touch him in the slightest. Got it. Jiami, the way you're talking, when have any of my artists ever needed to sleep his way to the top? Except for the ones who choose to sink that low, who I can't control. I have never let the entertainment industry's ugly habits touch my artist at all. I, Su Wanru, only handle artists who work hard for their dreams, for money, and for fame and influence. The kind who stop at nothing, who never work hard and only want shortcuts, or who even sleep their way to the top, I refuse to handle, Su Wanru said, then added, I'm not saying Mr. Yuan isn't good. After all, he's the person the boss likes. He probably doesn't even know some crazy woman has been quietly watching him. Ha 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 ha. Su Wanru, does the boss know you think she's a crazy woman? Su Wanru wiped away the tears of laughter at the corners of her eyes and straightened up. Of course not. If that little ancestor found out, she'd skin me alive. Jiami, you won't go snitching, right? I mean, I am not wrong. The boss is so young. She parties harder than her own mother. How is that even normal? Jiami did not answer. She only gave her a cool, sit-along glance. Enough. Put away that crazy act. I won't go snitching. But if you say anything in front of Mr. Yuan and get in the way of the boss's love life, I guarantee the boss really will skin you alive. Su Wanru straightened up her look, completely unconcerned. Relax. I'm not stupid. I can only hope the boss wins him over. By then I'll be the manager for the boss's husband. Let's go. I wasn't paying attention just now. Let me take a closer look. Which one is the future boss lady? The two of them returned inside again. Jiami walked over to Yu and introduced her. Mr. Yuan. This is Su Wanru. one of the top managers at Starlight Entertainment. I've already spoken to her. From now on, she'll be responsible for managing you. As for the rest, just discuss it directly with her. After Jiemi finished, she looked at Lu Jinnian. Mr. Lu Jinnian, everything on this end will be handled by Su Wanru. You won't need us for anything else. To finish the task the boss assigned as soon as possible, we'd better go to the pay group today and get up to speed as quickly as possible. As for you, do you have any problems? At that, Lu Jinnian got to his feet quickly. No, not at all. We'll go right now. Yuan, you can discuss it with Manager Su. We're heading out first, leaving you here alone. Lu Jinnian was not worried. After all, in his previous life, Su Wanru had been the manager by Ningbing arranged for you. Her professionalism and expertise were top-notch. Most importantly, she had no other artist under her. She would be giving you her full attention alone. So there was naturally nothing to worry about. Now that your future was secured, he had to work hard to. Since Jiemi brought it up so proactively, he definitely would not refuse and would leave right away. They left. In the vast conference room, only you and Su Wanru remained. Out of courtesy, you stood up and held out your hand to Su Wanru. Hello, Miss Su. I'm Fang Yuan. We'll be partners from now on. Please take good care of me. Hearing that, Su Wanru finally snapped out of her daze of surprise. She shook your hand, putting everything else aside. Your looks are seriously outstanding. Photos don't even come close to doing you justice. Seeing you in person, she understood immediately. In this circle, you have limitless potential. That girl really knows how to pick them. The entertainment industry hasn't seen a newcomer with a look and temperament this good in a long time. Because of the backstab from her last artist, she originally didn't want to take on another newcomer. Accepting you was only because boss by Ningbing insisted. But now, looking at you in front of her, smiling with your eyes crinkled, she felt her motivation flare back up. Such a good prospect. As long as you are willing to work hard, she was confident she could lead you to win Best Actor and the Best Actress double crown and take you onto the international stage. What manager would not want to produce an international superstar? She couldn't let one setback make her give up on everything. She had to fight hard for opportunities and put you on the throne as an international superstar. It would be even better if that girl by Ningbing could never catch up. Thinking of that, a teasing smile touched her lips. Hello, Mr. Yuan. Have a seat. Let me show you the contract. As for all the arrangements, we can talk after the contract is finalized. She pulled out a chair and sat down. From her briefcase, she took out 2 copies of the contract and slid them over to you. You took them and carefully read through the terms. The more you read, the more surprised you became. This contract was actually considerate of you in every detail. After Lu Jinnian pointed out that the company you had found on your own was no good, and that it was an exploitative talent agency with shady methods. For caution's sake, on the way here, you had already looked up a lot of related contracts on your phone to get familiar with them. You had a good memory, so you remembered the key points and cautions of those contracts almost exactly. Of course, you could tell that this one in front of you, the contract put you first in every way. You could even say it was tailored in your favor. A contract like this did not look like something for a newcomer at all. It looked more like terms offered to lure artists who were already well known into their own company. The kind of concessions made for that purpose. Your mind was full of questions, and your page turning slowed. Your reaction didn't escape Su Wanru, who had been watching you from the side. She saw your hesitation at a glance and asked directly, "What's wrong? Mr. Fang, do you have questions about the contract terms?" "Miss Su, there's nothing wrong with the terms. It's just that the conditions offered in this contract, in every way, seem like something a newcomer wouldn't normally get." Seeing your brows knit slightly, Su Wanru's smile deepened. She propped her chin on her hand and looked at you, her voice filled with unmistakable delight. "In theory, yes, but Mr. Fang isn't an ordinary newcomer. I've read your file. A top student at a university, double majoring in finance and acting, every theory course and major course. You placed first in your year, and perhaps Mr. Fang hasn't realized it himself. But your looks are exactly what the entertainment industry is missing. In other words, Mr. Fang, your potential is enormous. As long as you work hard, your future will be bright, dazzling, and full of starlight." Su Wanru paused, then sat up straight, not giving you a chance to question her. "I think Mr. Fang's looks are favored by fate. So, this contract that seems to favor you being placed in Mr. Fang's hands actually seems perfectly reasonable. Su Wanru wasn't talking nonsense. And it wasn't because you had been brought in by Ningbing that you were being given special treatment. You earned all of this yourself. In the materials she received, she saw your background and photos. Maybe the file wasn't complete. How could just a thin pages sum up a person's past and experience? But just this glimpse of the tip of the iceberg was enough for Starlight Entertainment to draw up the best possible artist contract terms. Starlight Entertainment would never reject someone like you. A young master carefully nurtured in luxury, nurtured by a powerful family, talented in many areas. They certainly wouldn't turn down someone with a face so pure and flawless that could be called an untouchable white moonlight, and who also has a double degree from a university and top-tier professional credentials. Put all those conditions together, and they point to limitless possibilities for you in the entertainment industry. Starlight Entertainment has always been generous with promising talent. This contract that favors you is something you deserve. Listening to Su Wanru, you fell silent. You had always thought getting into Starlight Entertainment was just luck. You never expected that, in Starlight Entertainment's eyes, you were actually worth this kind of investment. You pressed your lips together and did not ask any more questions. You picked up the pen beside you, and on both identical copies of the contract, signed your name. Your career path began with this contract at Starlight Entertainment. It set off. After signing the contract, you looked at Su Wanru again. Miss Su, the contract is settled. Can we talk about work now? Su Wanru glanced at your elegant handwriting on the contract, then took it away with a smile. Of course, Mr. Fang, come with me. I'll take you to your restroom. Following Su Wanru, you went to the 21st floor. As the door opened, a spacious, bright, fully equipped artist restroom came into view. On the most noticeable table in the room sat a script. Seeing the script, a glimmer lit up in your eyes. You had not expected Starlight Entertainment to move so fast. You had only come in today to sign the contract, and they had already prepared a script. Sit. You can take a look at the script on the table. After I received your materials, I picked this for you from Starlight Entertainment's script library. It's a xianxia web drama where the female lead levels up by defeating monsters. It's adapted from a hugely popular web novel. The director is excellent, and the actress cast as the female lead is also a popular star with solid acting chops. The IP is highly popular. There are countless novel fans. The cast has a huge fanbase, and the promotion is solid. It has not even started filming yet, but it has already been set that after filming, it will stream exclusively on Tomato Web in the primetime 8 p.m. slot. You could say that as long as this drama airs normally, it is guaranteed to blow up. That caught your interest. You picked up the script and started flipping through it. While you were reading, Su Wanru kept explaining, this drama has no canonical pairing for the female lead, which means there is no real male lead in the traditional sense. There will be no top billing squabbles, and every male character who appears here, as long as he has a name, is a named male role, and to some degree has some emotional entanglement with the female lead. Each of them has his own identity. Every one of them exists as an indispensable part of the female lead's growth. Each one has his own unique, noteworthy strengths. Each one is easy to make stand out, because Shang-Chi is investing in it. Some of the yet undecided roles have been handed to Starlight Entertainment. You can look at the role vacancies on the first page. The casting choices for those roles are all in our hands. You can pick whichever you like. Seeing that you had reached the character list, Su Wanru's tone turned serious. Yuan, this drama, I hope you'll take it. As a newcomer, your first role does not need many scenes, but it has to be enough to win public goodwill. It has to make people remember you. And among these roles, whichever one you choose, because the character setup is strong and the role is richly written, it will leave an impression in the audience's mind. That is the most important thing you need to do right now. Do you understand? After Su Wanru finished speaking, you had already gotten a rough understanding of the script. As she said, many of the roles in this script would be suitable as a newcomer's first role when entering the industry. You looked up at Su Wanru, your tone serious. Sister Su, I understand what you mean. I'll take this script, but I want to ask you something. In your mind, which role do you think I should take? Do you have any ideas? Su Wanru froze. She seemed not to expect you to ask that kind of question. In her view, as long as you had read the script, you would 80% likely choose the female. The female lead's childhood friend, Qingshui, the boy next door, for no other reason than that his role was likable, easy to play, and even matched your personality very well. When it came to a neighbor-brother type, most people imagined someone lively, cute, and mischievous, a little younger brother. But this script was different. Qingshui in the script was a young master who loved poetry and song. It was practically a role created with you in mind. So, she was certain you would choose Qingshui, but from the way you said it, you were not fully sure you wanted this role. After weighing it carefully, she went through the remaining roles in her head, and still felt Qingshui suited you best. A Yuan. My thought is that you should take Qingshui. This character already has a lot of fans in the novel. His identity is likable, and his setup is compelling. Most importantly, Qingshui's temperament, personality, and physical description fit you extremely well. I cannot see any reason why you would not take him. Hearing that, you turned the script to a page and pushed it towards Su Wanru. Sister Su, I want to take this role. Before I saw him, I would definitely have taken Qingshui without hesitation. But after seeing him, I feel that compared with Qingshui, the role of Miao is the one that is truly unforgettable. Su Wanru stood frozen in place. She hesitated before saying, Yuan, do you mean you want to take the role of Miao, right? You said firmly. The role of Miao is the person who had the deepest impact on Wei Ying's life. And Mao's character setup is absolutely the hardest to forget. Born into tragedy, with extraordinary talent, cold and otherworldly, he was clearly a Moonlight figure who could be admired but never reached. Yet because he knew the female lead Wei Ying was the key to saving the world, he watched over her in silence. Because of his miserable background, he had never truly been loved, so he armored himself with indifference. But the female lead sending him flowers every day quietly stirred feelings within him. In the end, for the future of all living beings in the world, and for the selfish desire hidden in his heart, he resolutely saved the female lead with his own life, so that after death he would not harm her. He went to his death alone, dying beneath the female lead's sword. With his life, he changed her state of mind, and became Wei Ying's most unforgettable white moonlight. You paused, then looked at Su Wanru. Sister Su. In the original novel, the script is based on the most popular male role should be the white moonlight Miao, who dies saving the female lead, right? Su Wanru fell silent. Your eye is pretty sharp. A Miao really is the most popular role, but precisely because he is so popular, he was once worshipped by the novel fans as a heartthrob. After news spread that this novel was getting a screen adaptation, the novel fans once said no one in the entertainment industry could play a Miao. A Miao is Wei Ying's white moonlight. He has striking looks, but he was not a pretty face with nothing behind it. A lot of this role's scenes really tested acting ability. The hardest scene to play was the one where a Miao had to do it all without a stunt double and personally perform an entire sword routine. It was when Wei Ying had just started training. The Qinghan sex sword art demonstrated by Miao as the senior brother. It was an essential part of drawing Wei Ying's attention to the sword technique. Because of that, the novel fans once believed there was simply no male actor in the domestic entertainment industry who could do it. To meet their standard for Miao, that kind of face could only be found in 2 or 3 people across the entire entertainment industry. But those 2 or 3 were all pretty faces with nothing else to offer. They could only act in idle dramas by pouting and glaring, and the male actors with real acting skills were not beautiful enough. When they heard Immortal Path was about to start filming, a lot of people flooded the official account for the Immortal Path production team, demanding that Miao be cut from the story, since no one could play Miao, and they could not stop the production from filming and making money. They would rather Miao stay alive forever in the book. Because the official account was being flooded with backlash, the creative team had discussed it. If, when filming began, there still was not an actor suitable to play Miao, they would follow the novel fans' wishes and remove Miao from the script. Su Wanru herself was also a fan of Immortal Path, and looking at you before her, your bare face was already stunning. If you were made up, you really would fit Miao's appearance and temperament very well. But your acting might be decent because you had studied professionally in the system. But the novel fans felt too deeply about Miao, and had already turned him into a godlike figure. If you were going to play Miao, they would be brutally harsh on the actor, and would not tolerate even the slightest mistake. You were only a newcomer, so from the moment the role was set to the show's successful broadcast, you might end up carrying the blame the whole way. If you acted well, you would blow up overnight. If you acted badly, you would be dragged by the entire internet until you quit the industry. You were the boss's darling. And if they let you get blacklisted the moment you debuted, how was she supposed to survive that? Besides, that sword dancing scene for Miao could not use a double. Swords have no eyes, and even props could still cause injury. She did not dare take that gamble. Playing Xing Shui, you had 100% chance of breaking out beyond the fanbase, and far less risk. When she first heard the boss wanted to push someone in, then saw your photo, she had forcibly snatched the role of Xing Shui away from another manager and taken it for herself. But now, you did not want the smooth, easy road, and instead wanted to take a risky, unconventional path. You wanted to walk that thorn-covered path where one thought could lead to heaven and the next to hell. She really did not dare gamble on that. After thinking it over again and again, she said to you, "Wait a moment, I'll make a call. There are some issues with the role of Miao. I'll ask first, then we'll talk." After Su Wanru finished speaking, she went outside the door and dialed by Ningbing's number. The phone rang twice before it was answered. By Ningbing's cool, crisp voice came from the other end. "Hello. What is it?" Su Wanru briefly explained the situation and told by Ningbing the pros and cons of the two roles. The line stayed silent for a long time, so long that Su Wanru started to suspect she had been hung up on. Only then did Bai Ningbing's voice sound again. "Let him follow his own instincts. He just needs to keep charging forward. I'll cover the rest. If anything like this comes up again, you and he can discuss it together. No need to call me. Su Wanru, I have confidence in him. You too. You need to have confidence in the artist you manage yourself." After Bai Ningbing said that, she did not wait for Su Wanru to respond, and hung up. Listening to the busy signal on the other end, Su Wanru put her phone away and let out a helpless sigh. "You two are both pretty opinionated. Fine. The boss is right. You have to be confident. What if you act amazingly well, and the role blows up beyond the fanbase? With the fanbase behind a Mao and Immortal path, playing a Mao would be far more beneficial to your future career than playing Xing Shui." Thinking of that, Su Wanru pushed the door open and went back in. "Yuan, it's settled. We'll go with your idea and take Miao. Pack up a bit. We're heading to the Immortal Path production team. Since Miao is so popular, there needs to be a small audition. As long as you pass the audition, we'll sign the contract. We'll shoot the promotional costume test photos at the same time. Filming starts at the end of the month. Once your role is confirmed, it'll release the other roles." Su Wanru drove you to the film studio city. Because Immortal Path is starting filming at the end of the month, the production team had already rented space in the studio city. Director Yang Ying, not wanting to delay filming, was personally supervising the crew as they set up the set. If you wanted to audition for the director, this was the only place to find her. When the car entered the studio city, it drove steadily down the main road. You looked out the window, and all kinds of sets spread out before your eyes. Even though the buildings clearly belonged to different eras, they were packed tightly together here. It was not chaotic, but instead had a strange, unique beauty. Looking at the studio city so close at hand, your heart pounded. This was the closest you had ever come to acting. Once you took this road, you would spend most of your life moving from one studio city to another. Do you regret it? Not at all. You only felt an overwhelming sense of peace. The car finally stopped before a cluster of ethereal-looking palaces. After getting out of the car, you followed Su Wanru through the busy staff rushing back and forth, until you spotted Yang Ying. Su Wanru told you to stop, and went forward to greet her. "Director Yang, long time no see." Yang Ying, who had been speaking into a walkie-talkie, looked up at the sound. When she saw Su Wanru standing there, she froze for a moment. Then she spoke, sounding unsure. "Wanru, what brings you here?" Su Wanru smiled. "Nothing major. It's just that my newly signed artist wants to audition for Immortal Path. I brought him here for an audition, that's all." Wasn't Su Wanru basically half out of the industry, no longer willing to manage artists? As someone in the industry, Yang Ying had also heard a little about why Su Wanru no longer wanted to manage artists. Yang Ying had heard a little about it. She had heard that the last artist she managed had backstabbed her. After using Su Wanru's connections and resources to blow up overnight, he turned around and signed with another company. He cut ties with her completely. That incident did not shake Su Wanru's position, but it made her lose face badly at Starlight Entertainment. After that, rumors spread that Su Wanru would no longer manage artists. At first, directors like her had even felt sorry for Su Wanru. After all, artists in the industry come and go in waves. They might not care that much about the artist, but they cared about managers. Good managers were rare to begin with, and there were plenty of sleazy ones using ugly tactics. For directors who wanted to make money and wield power in the entertainment industry. They might have liked dealing with that kind of manager. But they were different. They were devoted to their craft. I just want to chase my dream. I want to make good films. I want to leave my name in future film and television history. As for a manager like Su Wanru, who runs things with strict standards, they like her a lot. Besides, Su Wanru has wide connections, and she holds a high position at Starlight Entertainment. They all had some level of connection with her. The artists she managed were all good actors too, so directors like them loved casting them. Once she said she would no longer manage artists, no matter the reason. They all felt sorry about it. And yet, in such a short time, Su Wanru had already brought in a new artist, and even brought him here for an audition. Yang Ying was flooded with thoughts. She handed the walkie-talkie to the assistant director beside her, told her to keep watching, and walked over to Su Wanru. Wanru, didn't you say you weren't going to manage artists anymore? Su Wanru smiled. I did think that at first, but He's different. He's special. From now on, I'll only manage him, and I'll chase my dream with him. Yang Ying nodded. All right, Wanru, even after being hit hard, you still didn't give up on your dream. Good luck. As she spoke, she glanced at you standing not far away. You've got outstanding looks. And your vibe is good too. You must be here to audition for Qing Shui. With that face, and that aura, you'll definitely have no problem playing Qing Shui. Why even bother with an audition? Wanru, you're still as meticulous as ever. Su Wanru was speechless. Come on, sis. Let me finish, okay? I never said Yuan was taking Qing Shui. Yang Ying's reaction only proves that you really are a perfect fit for Qing Shui. Unfortunately, this kid has his own ideas. Right now, all we can hope is that your audition goes well. She lowered her voice and whispered in Yang Ying's ear. Director Yang, I think it would be better if you let him audition. He's not here to take Qing Shui, and he's not here for any other role either. He's here to take a Miao. Yang Ying said casually. A Miao? What about a Miao? A Miao does not need an audition either. Then, when she processed what she had heard, she suddenly raised her voice. Wait, what did you say? Who does he want to play? A Miao? No, Wanru. Since we're both novel fans of Immortal Path, and we're both industry insiders, you can't possibly not know how special a Miao's role is, right? Filming is about to start, and none of us were expecting anyone to play a Miao. The revised script is already being rushed out with overtime. The reason we gave Starlight Entertainment that script in the first place was because the new version was not ready yet. Otherwise, there would not have even been an a Miao role. And now you're telling me, the newcomer you're bringing wants to play a Miao. Sister Sue, are you kidding me? If you won't think about me, at least think about your own artist. If he plays a Miao, he'll be plastered all over the hot search in minutes. He'll get hated on right after debut. Are you out of your mind? Su Wanru rubbed her ears, which were aching, from Yang Ying's raised voice, and only then spoke at an unhurried pace. Director Yang, you should also know that if a Miao's role is cut, it would seriously affect the overall integrity of the plot. Take a close look at Yuan. If he's given the right makeup, he'll match a Miao's look perfectly. As for his acting, you don't need to worry. He has a degree in acting from a university. He passes in every respect. And I won't say anything else. We're both novel fans of Immortal Path. Don't you want to adapt Immortal Path perfectly for the screen? If Yuan can perfectly play a Miao, what he brings to the screen adaptation of Immortal Path isn't just traffic and narrative integrity, the chance to fulfill the novel fan's dream through the show. What novel fan doesn't want to see a Miao while reading? When you took on filming Immortal Path, didn't you want to bring a Miao to the screen and make that dream come true? Yang Ying fell silent. It was simple. Su Wanru had hit exactly where it mattered. How could she not want to put a Miao on screen? If a Miao was cut, Immortal Path would no longer be complete. It would lose its soul entirely. Seeing Yang Ying waver, Su Wanru pressed her advantage. Director Yang, is this me bringing a Yuan here to audition? If he really isn't up to it, then cast Qing Shui. It won't delay your original plan. But if he can do it, then the payoff, far greater than the few minutes you'd spend on this audition. Yang Ying's expression changed several times. In the end, she focused on you. Wanru, I'll trust you on this one. Let's do the audition. Have the stylist do his makeup. You're willing to help me make my dream come true, so I can't let your artist be wronged. For the audition in a bit, I'll have someone record the whole thing. I'll send you the video. If he really can play a Miao, then after the costume test photos go up, if anyone starts attacking him, You release the footage. I don't want the one person who finally can play Miao to get flamed out of the industry by novel fans and netizens who don't know the full story. Meanwhile, at the Immortal Path set, you were getting your hair and makeup done, while at the pay group, Jinnian was completely sprawled out on his desk. There was no other reason. It was too hard. He couldn't make sense of anything. On the second day after his rebirth, after arranging everything, he had thought he was the chosen protagonist. He never expected to be crushed by planning proposals he couldn't understand, and dense financial figures until he was completely beaten down. He really wanted to give up and coast. He really wanted to wait until you blew up, and then live off his little brother. He really wanted to wait until you and by Ningbing got married, and just sell the Fang family to the Shangxi group. He could take the money and live it up. Why make himself suffer like this? Jiami, standing nearby, sorted through the documents, occasionally glancing at Jinnian, who was flopped there like a dead fish. Her boss was seriously overthinking it. With Jinnian like this, how could he ever threaten her beloved? He was basically the kind of guy who, the second he hit trouble, wanted to give up and slack off right away. Out of professional courtesy and personal decorum, she didn't mock him. Instead, she encouraged him gently. Mr. Liu, you have a lot to learn. You can't possibly master it all in just a few hours. So, don't be too pessimistic. As long as you work hard and are willing to put in the thought, you'll get the hang of it pretty easily. After all, you're going to be the boss. Most company operations and technical knowledge will be handled by employees. You just need to understand things clearly and make sure no one can easily fool you. Jiami's voice was gentle, and it made the sprawled out Jinnian spring up at once. He was stunned. Why was he backing down first? Jinnian, you coward. Pull yourself together. Was rebirth supposed to make you slack off? If you don't live like a real man, you'd be wasting that rebirth of yours. Seeing Jinnian's motivation flare back up, Jiami was a little baffled. No, seriously. Was his recovery and self-regulation really this strong? I take back what I thought earlier. Jinnian is anything but ordinary. Better keep a close eye on him. Your hair and makeup are done. It's very simple. It's the look Miao uses most in the drama. The standard Qinghan sect uniform. His waterfall-like short hair was half tied back with a white jade hairpin. His face was as fresh and beautiful as spring blossoms. His brows were like distant dark peaks. His bright, clear eyes seemed rimed with frost. When you walked out in that outfit, not only were Su Wanru and Yang Ying stunned, even the busy crew members couldn't help stopping what they were doing. They just stared at you dazed. Immortal Path was the top hit among current female-targeted web novels, with a huge fanbase and massive influence. Many people on the crew had read the original novel before. Some were hardcore novel fans, while others had only read it casually for fun. Now that Immortal Path was about to start filming, for work's sake, those who hadn't read it went and crammed the plot. And now, seeing you in full makeup, those crew members had only one thought in their heads. Author, a Miao from your pen has come to life. And then your first performance began. The audition scene you chose was the moment when Miao first received flowers from the female lead. Because the actress playing the female lead wasn't there, you didn't choose to act opposite anyone either. It was all just you acting against an imaginary prop, looking at the imagined flowers in front of him. A flash of surprise crossed Miao's eyes. Then, as if remembering something, his brow furrowed slightly. He didn't take the flowers. Instead, he looked at Wei Ying and asked back, Junior sister Wei, why did you come to Qinghan sect? What was it for? To cultivate? To pursue the grand Tao? Or were you just here to chase men? If it's the latter, then I don't think Qinghan sect is the place for you. Watching your performance, Yang Ying nodded again and again. Your acting is good. Your expression and emotional state are spot on. You capture that feeling when Miao receives the flowers, the emotion hidden beneath the surprise, the fleeting joy perfectly. That fleeting flash of delight and surprise. Just right. A Miao as a character is someone who hides behind coldness. When he meets someone like Wei Ying, so openly eager, and someone who can twist the truth with just a mouth, greedy for good things but not bad at heart. It's like an ice cube dropped into boiling water. You get that slight thaw, that touch of emotion. It's not that he has no heart. He just doesn't know how to express it. He doesn't dare show weakness. Yang Ying felt there was no need to keep going. You're very good. You're exactly the Miao she had in mind. She stood up, just about to call cut, when a voice sounded beside her. Senior brother, I just happened to see a little boy selling flowers on the way back to the sect. He looked pitiful. So I paid for them. Look, these flowers suit you so well. I don't have any other intentions. If this has made senior brother misunderstand anything, then he'll throw it away right now. Everyone turned toward the voice. They saw a woman in casual clothes, standing beside Yang Ying. It was the actress playing Wei Ying, the female lead of the drama, the popular young starlet Qinghan. You hadn't expected anyone to jump in and act opposite you all of a sudden. You were startled for a split second, but you quickly recovered your composure and kept acting. That excuse was flimsy. How could it possibly fool me? That said, you looked at the dewy, vividly blooming flowers in Wei Ying's hands. For some reason, you still took them. Junior sister Wei. As the senior brother, I still hope you'll focus on cultivation. The demon race is running rampant, and the human race's living space is being squeezed more and more. Those of us who walk the path of cultivation should take the lives of all living beings as our duty. Don't let romance tie your hands. Seeing A Mao take the flowers, Wei Ying broke into a radiant smile. She didn't take A Mao's words to heart at all. She just hurriedly agreed. Okay. What senior brother said, Wei Ying will remember. As Wei Ying's words fell, the scene ended there. Yang Ying quickly called cut. Then she said to the assistant director beside her, take Qinghan to shoot the costume test photos first. Her time is limited because of her schedule. I'll take Yuan to sign the contract. As for the role of A Mao, now that Yuan is playing him, there's no need to cut him anymore. Remember to let the screenwriter know. The assistant director took the orders and immediately led Qinghan off to get hair and makeup done. You walked over to Su Wanru. Just as you were about to say something, you saw Qinghan, who had already made it halfway out, turn back. She called out to you, Yuan. See you next time. I'm looking forward to our scenes together. You had no idea what that was about, but you still replied politely. Senior Gu. See you next time. I'll do my best not to hold you back. Qinghan waved a hand and walked off. Su Wanru took you to catch up with Yang Ying. A few steps away from Yang Ying. You acted well. Yuan. Congratulations on passing the audition. Thanks, Sister Su. It was all thanks to you being willing to help me. When I went to do makeup just now, I heard that the role of A Mao was originally supposed to be cut. Thank you for smoothing things over. Su Wanru waved it off. Fighting for opportunities for my own artist is exactly what a manager should do. Still, your acting was good. Otherwise, no matter how much I talked, it wouldn't have mattered. By the way, do you know Qinghan? You froze. You didn't understand why Su Wanru would ask something like that. You answered honestly. No, I don't. This was our first time meeting. Su Wanru was surprised. That's strange then. If she doesn't know you, why would she jump in and act opposite you? And why would she greet you first? You said lightly, Immortal Path has so many novel fans. Maybe Senior Gu is one of them too. Helping me with the scene was probably because she wanted to see someone play A Mao. As for greeting me first, maybe she was just being polite. Su Wanru looked at you like, how are you this innocent? Seeing how unconcerned you looked, Su Wanru immediately sounded a level 1 alarm in her head. While you were called over by Yang Ying to sign the contract, she went to a corner, kept watching your side, while pulling out her phone to type. Soon, the prepared messages were sent one after another. The Shangxi Group building, CEO's office, by Ningbing, who had just finished a meeting, was irritably tugging at her collar. After lending out Jiami, her special assistant, her workload shot up. Irritated, very irritated, she pinched the bridge of her nose, headache flaring. She was thinking about whether to have Jiami find someone from her friends to come help. She wasn't short on money. Having two special assistants was completely fine. She had so many things she wanted to do. How could she let all these company chores tie her down? She was the CEO, not a hired hand. What was the point of working herself to death? What good would that do her? Su Wanru's message came through right then. She picked up her phone, swiped to unlock it, and what she saw was a photo of a young man, with his head lowered, drilling holes in beads. Sunlight filtered through the tree shade, falling in scattered flecks across his hair, his hands, and the hem of his robe. Hazy and dreamlike, as if it had draped a sacred glow over the young man in the picture. Seeing her own phone wallpaper, and remembering the scene from the shoot, Bai Ningbing's lips couldn't help curving up. Her good mood lasted until the moment she opened the WeChat message. The glow from the phone screen lit up a stormy face. Boss, today I took Mr. Fang to audition for A Mao. We ran into Qinghan, the female lead of Immortal Path. She acted like we'd known each other forever. Not only suddenly jumped in and acted opposite Mr. Fang, but when she left, she very naturally said she was looking forward to sharing scenes with Mr. Fang. I asked Mr. Fang about it, and he didn't know Qinghan before. Putting down the phone, those messages still kept flashing through by Ningbing's mind, one by one. She knew it. The moment you step into the entertainment industry, countless nobodies would come crawling up to you. She just hadn't expected it to happen this fast. You only signed an artist contract today. You're barely even halfway into the entertainment industry. And it was only a small audition with just a few people there. Yet someone already couldn't wait to latch on. I really want to lock you away, so no one can find you. Hide you away, and make those beautiful eyes of yours look only at her. By Ningbing's already restless mood hit its peak right then. She reflexively reached for her left wrist, where a bracelet strung with soapberry beads hung. You had made it by hand. Whenever her emotions were about to spin out of control, she would touch it. After a long while, she finally calmed down. Then she picked up her phone again. Acting is your dream. She couldn't be that selfish. She couldn't take your dreams and freedom away just to satisfy her own desire. At worst, it would just take a little more work. She dialed Jiami's number. On the other end, Jinnian was battling the financial statements. Jiami had just been about to point out a thing or two when her phone in her pocket rang with its special ringtone. She looked confused. The boss was calling her? What for? She was still on assignment. They couldn't make her do two jobs at once and teach Jinnian by day, then go back to Shangxi at night to keep grinding away, could they? With a nervous heart, she said hello to Jinnian and went to the stairwell to take the call. The call had barely connected before she could say anything. By Ningbing on the other end launched right into a rapid-fire barrage, talking on and on by herself. Jiami, find someone among your friends, and, while you're away, have her take over your duties. When you come back, the two of you can handle things together. I'm not taking your authority away. It's just that with only one special assistant, I'm too tired. I want a woman. Don't send me a man. That would be a pain. Don't worry. Your salary won't be reduced. The new one, the same as when you first joined Shangxi. Also, before she starts work, help me with something first. Look into popular actress Qinghan. See whether she and Yuan have ever crossed paths. That's all for now. Sorry to trouble you. Your bonus this month will be doubled. A busy tone came from the phone. Jiami had not gotten a single word in before the call was hung up. Thinking back on what Bai Ningbing had just said, she wore a look like she'd seen a ghost. Good grief. The boss actually said that much in one breath, for the first time ever. All right. Got it. Without her around, that girl had gotten tired of handling everything. And just then something unexpected happened on your end. That girl couldn't hold back anymore. Nice. Looks like I'll have some juicy gossip about the boss from now on. Find someone. I definitely need to find someone. With a double bonus in hand. Of course, I need to be proactive. She opened her WeChat contacts, found the label for industry friends in her groups, and after some searching, locked onto one person. That girl seemed to have just quit her job. Fine. She'll do. Maybe. While finishing the task, I can even wrangle a meal out of her. Feeling excited, she opened the chat marked Shenji and called her directly on voice chat. The other side seemed to be using a device, because it was answered after only 2 rings. A somewhat tired voice came through. The receiver. It's Shangxi, huh? What's up? Gee, I heard you were laid off not long ago. Jiami got straight to the point. Shenji said helplessly. Don't even get me started. I'm seriously speechless. That idiot of an ex-boss, just because her kept little star said I was staring at him, fired me. Seriously unreal. It was obviously because the project was in its final stretch, and they no longer needed me. So they made up an excuse to sack me, just so they wouldn't have to pay the bonus. Bad luck. Seriously. Those evil capitalists. Let me tell you. Hearing Shenji get started, and about to ramble on and on, Jiami immediately cut her off. Gee, hold off on the complaints for now. Let's talk about something serious. So, our boss has been swamped lately. She says one special assistant isn't enough to handle everything. If anything comes up, she sends me out, and then she has to step in herself. This spoiled rich kid can't stand being overworked, so she wants to hire another special assistant. She's not short on money. Pay and benefits are negotiable. There's just one thing. She wants me to get someone on board as soon as possible. Girl, you were the first person I thought of. I remembered seeing your moments the other day, crying about being unemployed and trashing your black-hearted boss. Look, how perfect is that? You're unemployed, and she needs help. There couldn't be a better fit. I'm calling to ask what you think. So, are you in or not? If you're not in, you'll find someone else. The line went quiet. Jiami couldn't help moving the receiver closer to her ear. Just as she was about to ask, she heard Shenji shout at the top of her lungs on the other end. Yes, yes, yes. Jiami, you're the best friend ever. Love you, love you, love you. Once I get in smoothly, I have to treat you to a meal. Jiami rubbed her nearly deafened ear. She said helplessly, I know. Lower your voice. My ears are about to go deaf. Okay, I'm just happy. That's all. Sis, I won't waste breath thanking you for a favor this big. If you ever need me in the future, just say the word. Oh, right? When can I start? The boss wants it as soon as possible. Why don't you go handle onboarding today? It's a little late, but it should still be before quitting time. Get it done first. You might be busy tonight. Jiami remembered what the boss had just said on the phone about checking what connection Qinghan had with you, and guessed things on your side had probably already started moving. Tonight might really be busy. Okay, I'm heading to Shangxi headquarters right now. Put in a word from me. Don't let them stop me at the door again. Sure, I'll tell the front desk. Just go straight in. I've still got things to handle here. I'll hang up now. Jiami hung up the phone and sent Shenji's WeChat contact card to by Ningbing, bundling her profile with it. Then she called the Shangxi front desk and briefly explained the situation. After dealing with all that, she finally went back to Lu Jinnian's side. Seeing that Lu Jinnian was still battling the financial reports, Jiami didn't disturb him. She pulled out the laptop she carried with her and started typing furiously. Soon enough, Qinghan's profile appeared on the screen. She read through it line by line and finally found the answers she needed. Qinghan had studied in the acting department at a university and later returned many times as an outstanding graduate to visit her former teacher. The most recent visit had happened during the time you were studying there, and her mentor seemed to have been your teacher too. You did well in school, so it was only natural that a teacher would mention you. Qinghan, having heard of you, was perfectly normal. She highlighted the key points, then packaged all the materials together and sent them all to by Ningbing. Looking out at the darkening night sky, she closed her laptop and walked over to Lu Jinnian. Mr. Lu, it's getting late. Let's study again tomorrow. Mark the parts you don't understand, and tomorrow I'll go through them with you one by one. Lu Jinnian lifted his head from the computer screen and looked out the window. He seemed a little dazed. Is it dark already? He rubbed the bridge of his nose awkwardly. I guess it really is late. Have I been keeping you from clocking out? I'm sorry. Special Assistant Jia, you should go ahead. I'll look at it a little longer. Seeing Lu Jinnian about to go back to staring at the computer after saying that, Jiami was speechless. Why was this guy so stubborn? Ever since he'd regained his drive, he looked ready to throw himself completely into work. What was he in such a hurry for? She didn't move, but instead reached out to block Lu Jinnian's screen. Mr. Lu, that's not what I meant. In our line of work, working overtime is normal. There's no such thing as holding you back from getting off work. What I mean is, it's already late. You took in too much today, and there's no way you can absorb it all today. And a Yuan side should be wrapping up soon. I think, since you care so much about your younger brother, you'll want to talk to him about today's situation, right? Jiami knew exactly how to read people. Hearing that, Lu Jinnian really did stop fixating on work. He stood up and rubbed his stiff neck. That makes sense. I need to hurry home. I have to go ask how Yuan's audition went. After saying that, he shut down the computer and grabbed his things before rushing out in a hurry. Jiami could only stare after him, stunned. On the immortal path set in the film studio city, after you signed the contract with director Yang and finished discussing the details of a Miao's role, the makeup artist whisked you away for a touch-up. The costume test photos had to be shot in perfect condition. The hair and makeup from the audition still had a few details that weren't quite right. They needed a few adjustments. Once your hair and makeup had been corrected, and you reached the studio, Qinghan had already left. Under the photographer's guidance, the costume test photos went very smoothly. After saying goodbye to director Yang, Su Wanru drove you home. Filming was still a few days away, and after dropping you off, she still had to finalize the remaining casting choices as soon as possible. Also, finding you an assistant also had to be settled before Immortal Path started shooting. After you left, the photographer looked at the freshly shot stills and clicked his tongue in amazement. Mr. Fang has incredible presence on camera. He's the best actor I've ever shot. He was born to be the lead. This is the job he was born for. Yang Ying, who had just come and heard that, and leaned in toward the screen. She was instantly dazzled. After pulling up the other completed costume test photos for comparison, she made up her mind at once. Release the finished costume test photos in pairs, and post the female lead and Miao together. Oh, and do not tag the actors yet. Let's see how the internet reacts first. Also, send me the audition video we just shot. They'll forward it to Su Wanru. By the time you got home, Lu Jinnian was already sitting on the sofa, typing on his phone with a twisted look on his face, as if he were arguing with someone online. You were a little surprised. Brother, what are you doing? Lu Jinnian was puffed up with anger, firing back at netizens with full force. You were confused. You leaned over to look at his phone screen. So that was it. The costume test photos shot today had been posted by Immortal Path's official account. As for someone playing Miao, the internet was already in an uproar. It had taken over the top hot searches on Weibo. The comments below were even more chaotic. Seriously, didn't they say Miao had been cut from the drama? Yang Ying, what is going on? Why did you even cast an actor for costume test photos? Any Immortal Path novel fans here? Setting everything else aside, don't you think this costume test photo fits the Miao from the novel really well? Are you people insane? What we character fans do is none of your business, casual viewers. Our Miao is so perfect, there's no way a normal person could portray him. Lu Jinnian, who was busy arguing with netizens, only belatedly realized it was you asking. He quickly slapped his phone face down on the sofa. Yuan, you're back. Are you tired? Haha, I didn't do much. Go rest. You smiled. Brother, you do not need to change the subject. I saw everything. You don't need to worry. When I decided to take on Miao, I was already prepared for this. Look, they only doubt that I, as a newcomer, can play the role well. No one said my looks do not fit Miao. If my looks fit the part, then I have already succeeded halfway. As for the other half, I will prove it to them. As she said that, you pulled out your phone and opened Weibo, browsing through the top few hot searches. Seeing that you really had not been affected, Lu Jinnian finally breathed a sigh of relief. In truth, he wasn't sure how much you could take. After all, in your previous life, the two of you were not especially close. Now that he was close to you, there was still a trace of careful guilt in it. Because of that guilt, he couldn't stand anyone speaking badly of you. He even reacted a little too impulsively. His reaction was even bigger than yours, the person involved. He had nearly forgotten that although you were raised in comfort, your inner strength was far greater than he had imagined. He pressed his lips together, his thoughts drifting far away. He didn't know whether your first role would be a success. He couldn't judge it from his memories of the previous life, because Miao, in that life, had been cut. In the previous life, under pressure from the novel fans, and unable to find a suitable actor, the crew ultimately cut Miao. They gave all of his scenes to a made-up sect elder. After the drama aired, it rode a wave of popularity thanks to a hugely popular IP, the female lead's popularity, and Tomato Web's primetime slot, and enjoyed a brief burst of success. But it never became a true smash hit. It also drew endless criticism. Without Miao, Immortal Path lost its ethereal charm. It lost emotional resonance. The female lead's transformation also felt abrupt. The whole thing just fell off, because this path was completely different from the previous life. Lu Jinnian did not dare make any guarantee about what kind of chemistry your performance as Miao would create. What was unknown was the most terrifying. He was lost in thought when your cry beside him snapped him back to reality. Oh my god, I never expected Senior Chen to be that kind of person, cheating during her marriage, and even staging a group sex scandal in a hotel. Lu Jinnian snapped back to reality. Right, I nearly forgot. Tonight, that Best Actress scandal should break. Though it wasn't very kind to think that way, he still could not help looking forward to it. He hoped the scandal would hit the top of the hot searches, to bury the buzz around you playing Miao, putting things to use. Just recycling trash, really. It's no hardship. He refreshed his phone excitedly. Sure enough, the Weibo hot search rankings had changed. The top 3 were unmistakably hashtag some Chen surnamed Best Actress cheats during marriage, hash Chen someone group sex scandal hash. Uncensored video hashtag who is Chen someone hash. He relaxed. As long as it was not hanging at the top of the hot searches, People would forget it in a day or two. Thanks to Chen's someone for stepping up. Just as Jinnian was easing up, he saw the hot search list change again. The best actress cheating news was pushed down, and the immortal path of Miao tag surged right back up. No, this is ridiculous. You are ignoring a scandal this huge about a best actress, and instead obsessing over some newcomer actor. Are you people out of your minds? Jinnian was so angry he nearly smashed his phone. The Shengxi Group building. CEO's office. Shenji had already completed her onboarding. She was ready to get her boss's lecture. But Ningbing did not even glance at her. She only stared at the computer, her brows tightly knit. The air around her felt oppressively heavy, even from several feet away. It made her shiver instinctively. Wait, did I say something wrong? Why does the boss look like that? Is she unhappy with me? If something is wrong, just say it. Do not scare me like that. Jiami, help me. You did not tell me either. That your boss has such a terrible temper. Shenji cried out inwardly. She watched helplessly as Ningbing silently took the fountain pen in her hand, worth hundreds of thousands, and bent it out of shape. She could not help swallowing hard. It was not just the pen she felt sorry for, and she was even more afraid Ningbing would lose her temper and send her straight to the hospital. She did not want to be the kind of unlucky soul who, on her very first day, got chewed out by her direct boss. She was the type who could not stay quiet, and in that suffocating atmosphere, her mind drifted off. Then, all of a sudden, she felt something was watching her. When she came back to herself, she happened to meet Ningbing's raised gaze. Oh no. First day on the job, and she got caught spacing out while the boss was in a bad mood. I am doomed. Shenji's heart lurched, but Ningbing did not seem to care that she had drifted off. She only spoke in a cool voice. You are Shenji, right? You know how to hire paid trolls and handle public relations, right? Shenji hurriedly answered. Yes. Please, give me your orders, boss. Ningbing gave the order in a cold voice. Take down everything on Weibo's hot search list right now about Immortal Path and Miao. Also, spend 50 million and push every scandal about that best actress Chen to the top for me. Any problems? Having received her orders, Shenji did not dare ask anything more. She immediately got to work. That left Ningbing alone, sitting in the still, dark CEO's office, her eyes dark as she glared at the computer screen. The faint blue glow lit her face, showing the raging fire in her eyes. You dare use him as a smokescreen? Chenya, you really have some nerve. Her phone chimed with a WeChat message. It was from Jiami. Boss, I found it. Chenya is an artist under Eugene Media. Her company and several of our subsidiaries have some partnerships. The dial tone quickly rang out in the quiet room. Leaning back in her office chair, Ningbing held her phone in one hand, while the other lightly tapped the chair arm. Soon, the call was picked up. Hello, Eugene Media. It is me, Ningbing, CEO of the Shangxi Group. Ningbing's voice carried no emotion at all. There was no other reason for this call. I just wanted to say something. Chenya is an eyesore. From now on, I do not want to see even a trace of Chenya in any collaboration involving Shangxi. The other side fell silent for a moment, as if discussing it with someone else. After a startled cry, the person on the other end spoke carefully. Miss Bai, do you mean you want to blackball Chenya? Ningbing said flatly. Blackball? How could that be? I never said that. I just do not like the sight of her. You can handle it yourselves. She hung up. Ningbing's fury still had not cooled. She could accept you entering the entertainment industry. She could also accept you being pushed onto the hot search over controversy about your role. But there was one thing she absolutely could not accept. You, whom she regarded as her white moonlight, becoming someone else's smokescreen to distract from a scandal. Trying to play dirty behind the scenes, huh? Bring it on. So what if it takes money? So what if you have a stronger backing? Come on then. Let's see if I do not ruin you. If I do not beat you down into the mud. My surname is not Bai. On the other end of the line, the CEO of Eugene Media listened to the dead tone on the phone, completely stunned. It was not until the assistant beside her reminded her that she finally snapped out of it. Boss, the hot search about Best Actress Chenya has topped the list again. What do you want us to do? What do you mean? What do we do? Did you not hear me? The CEO roared. The Shangxi CEO does not like her. Never mind that she's tangled up in scandal right now. Even if she were at the peak of her career, bringing the company massive profits, she would still have to be blackballed and blacklisted. The CEO had originally ridden the wave of her girl group, and had ridden the idol boom to fame. She had no real foundation behind her. So how could she dare cross Shang-Chi's bottom line? Shang-Chi is a business giant in a city, especially in the entertainment industry. Its subsidiary, Starlight Entertainment, is an industry benchmark. Not just a city, even entertainment companies in other cities have to make way for Starlight Entertainment. If the Shang-Chi CEO says she does not like some artist, no matter which company that artist belongs to, as long as they are even remotely involved, they are finished. Her company is thriving right now, and it still has partnerships with Shang-Chi subsidiaries. How could she possibly offend the Shang-Chi heir for the sake of one disaster of an artist? Once the assistant got the order from the boss, she immediately went to pass on the news that Chen Yao was being blacklisted. No one knew that this famous Best Actress Chen would have her career ruined just because she tried to use you as a smokescreen. Her acting career was utterly destroyed. In Chen Ya's restroom, she watched the hot searches jump around again and again. Busy to the point of panic, she kept urging her manager to add more money to suppress the hot searches. At this point, she could not care less about any smokescreen. She only wanted to bury the scandal as fast as possible. Her manager, Brother Hong, looked utterly speechless. He had warned Chen Yao long ago to rein herself in. Even if she wanted to fool around in private, she should have been more discreet. But this idiot had relied on the hotel's remote location, figuring no one would catch her on camera, and let herself go completely. Then the paparazzi lying in wait snapped photos of her, and the paparazzi demanded 10 million to bury the evidence. She thought they were asking for an outrageous sum, and even cursed them out over the phone for being money-crazed lunatics. She said she had plenty of ways to take the hot searches down. That was how things ended up like this. All told, just the money spent suppressing hot searches and buying other people's hot searches as a smokescreen had already exceeded 10 million. That was not even counting public relations cost and appeasing her fans. When this could have been solved with 10 million from the start, she just had to be too stingy to spend it. Now it had dragged her down to complete ruin and disgrace. He really did not want to manage this idiot anymore. Chen Ya came from a rough background, with little education or manners. Relying on her roguishly pretty face, she broke out by playing carefree, rebellious roles. Then, while her peers were off training, she snagged Best Actress by pure luck. That really made her think she was somebody important. Using her Best Actress title, she hooked a rich fan and married him, which got her variety show opportunities to keep her name hot. Yet she still dared to fool around behind her husband's back. Even after getting caught on camera, she would not spend the money to settle it. Now look at this. Her husband wants to sue for divorce, and her company is blacklisting her too. She has become a complete joke. That was when the assistant came in. Brother Hong, come outside for a second. I need to talk to you. Outside? After hearing the assistant's summary, Brother Hong covered his mouth in shock. My God, really? That idiot pissed off Shang-Chi CEO? Really? The assistant nodded hurriedly. I was right next to the boss at the time. At first I thought it was a prank. But then I got a message on my phone from the Shang-Chi branch manager we work with. She said her boss's special assistant had asked for the boss's contact information. It must be something important. Brother Hong, you need to find a new way out. The boss means to make things right with Shang-Chi. We have to blacklist Chen Yao. She can never make waves in the entertainment industry again. I understand. You can reply to the boss. Brother Hong took a deep breath. From now on, there would be no trace of her in the entertainment industry. Meanwhile, Chen Yao, still pacing anxiously in the restroom, had no idea. Her acting career had already reached the end of the road. In the Fang family villa, seeing the hot search about you suppressed again, Jinnian belatedly realized something was off. He glanced at Yu, who had already stopped paying attention to Weibo and was studying the script, and quietly took out his phone to message Jiami. Jinnian, assistant Xia, did you see the hot search on Weibo? Don't you think that's weird? That's normal. The role Yuan is playing is controversial, so it makes sense for it to get pushed onto the hot search. No, I'm talking about Chen Ya's affair. The boss said. Mr. Liu already knew about it early on. What I'm asking is, with a scandal that big, Chen Ya's affair, how did it get buried by the buzz over Yuan playing Miao? Mr. Liu, I think, as a wealthy heir, you should be able to guess why. That hot search shifted again. Because the boss stepped in. 80 million. That is all. For the boss, it's just pocket change. Looking at the message, Jinnian suddenly understood. The future sister-in-law made her move. By Ningbing, you little minx. No wonder you've got a husband. You, still reading the script. Got a call from Su Wanru. A Yuan. I registered a Weibo account for you. I'll send you the username and password right away. Also the audition video from today. After you log in, post the video first. Then repost the official Immortal Path account's post of you and Qinghan's costume test photos. A Yuan. This is your chance. Not only can you smack those doubters in the face, you can also pick up a wave of fans. You can get a bit of buzz before you even have a breakout role. Opportunities like this are rare in the entertainment industry. You have to seize it. That way it'll be easier for me to negotiate your next drama. You received the video and watched it once yourself, and after confirming there were no problems, you logged into Weibo with the account and password Su Wanru gave you. You posted your first update. Audition successful. First role, Miao. I will work hard and try to capture his essence. Then, you reposted the official Immortal Path crew account's costume test photos with the caption, looking forward to filming. A Miao wishes Immortal Path smooth sailing. The novel fans who had been following Immortal Path and the actor playing Miao immediately spotted your Weibo. After excitedly clicking in and watching the video, they all rushed to the comments to leave a message. Guys, who gets this? At first, I was just watching the newcomer like he was cosplaying Miao, but then I saw his acting, and I am seriously about to fall in love with him. This is my precious Miao. Character fans are very satisfied. So domestic entertainment isn't without someone who can play Miao. He was just hidden away by the newcomer. Domestic entertainment really is absurd. They searched most of the entertainment industry and still couldn't find the right person. Then a newcomer crushed them in one shot. No, wait. Before you start arguing, can you look at the newcomer's profile? He is a newcomer at Starlight Entertainment, and he is under Su Wanru. Who is Su Wanru? Would any artist she manages be bad? Your Weibo comment section instantly exploded with activity. Just those to post alone made a brand new account gain 1 million followers overnight. Watching the follower count and comments keep shooting up, you were completely stunned. You did not really read novels, and you never expected Immortal Path's novel fans to be this powerful. Maybe, on top of reading through the script, you should make time to read the original novel. With your worries settled, you ate early and went to rest. Meanwhile, by Ningbing, still working overtime at the Shangxi group, was replaying the audition video you posted over and over. She quickly captured the moment. You froze for 0.3 seconds when Qinghan suddenly appeared. After setting it as her computer wallpaper, she curved her lips in satisfaction. My days senior. So cute. I want to kiss him so badly. The next day, you were flipping through the original Immortal Path novel at home when you got a call from Su Wanru. A Yuan. I'm choosing an assistant for you. Do you want to come to the company and take a look? No need, Sister Su. I don't know how to pick people either. You choose for me. I trust your judgment. Okay. Oh, right, a Yuan. A Miao is a sword dance scene that has to be done without a stunt double. Do you want me to find you a swordsmanship teacher? You do not need to learn anything too difficult. As long as you can handle a few key moves, that shot should pass. You paused for a moment, then said with a smile, Sister Su, I studied swordsmanship for a while when I was little. If you're worried, I can record a video for you to see. After getting Su Wanru's approval, you hung up. You opened the computer's front camera. There weren't any swords at home. You dug out the baseball bat you had bought back when you played baseball. You held it like a longsword. Then you recorded a simple 1-minute sword dance video and sent it to Su Wanru. Su Wanru fell silent after seeing the video. She could not figure out why you would use a baseball bat instead of a sword. She almost thought you were about to start hitting someone, but on her manager's sharp instincts, she immediately messaged you, telling you to upload the video to Weibo. It will definitely work well. You did as she said. You logged into Weibo and posted an update. No longsword. I just used a baseball bat as a stand-in. Is this how you imagine a Miao wielding a sword? Without a doubt, that post brought in another flood of comments and new fans. Thanks to that unconventional sword dance video, you caught on a little more. Immortal Path's stayed sky high, completely whetting the audience's appetite, with public anticipation building. The rest of the Immortal Path cast was confirmed one after another, and their costume test photos were released. By the time you finished the original novel and knew the script by heart, the day Immortal Path officially began filming had arrived. After a simple opening ceremony, the crew officially entered the filming stage. Because the Qinghan sect set had already been built, they started by shooting the scenes related to Qinghan sect. The first scene is the sect admission ceremony after the female lead, Wei Ying, enters Qinghan sect. And the first scene you need to shoot is the most difficult sword dance scene, because you had already posted a sword dance video on Weibo ahead of time. Director Yang Ying was not worried that you would perform badly. Instead, she was full of anticipation. She hoped that, under the camera, a Miao could truly come alive. All departments, prepare. Immortal path, first scene. Sect admission ceremony, action. At the director's command, the actors and crew quickly got into position. Wei Ying passed the spirit root test smoothly, and was quietly pleased with herself in the crowd, when she suddenly heard gasps of shock rising all around her. She could not help looking up. Just one glance froze her in place. On the arena stage stood a solitary, breathtakingly beautiful man. What kind of face was that? She could not even find the words to describe it. She only felt that words like handsome and stunning paled before that face. That face, as if kissed by the creator himself, made people think, in that unseemly moment, that he should not have appeared in a noisy, chaotic age. He should have been seated on a supreme, immaculate immortal throne, his frost-cold face bearing pity and distance, looking down on the world's chaos and clamor. You on the stage seemed long used to such stares. You ignored everyone outright, keeping a cold expression, and like an autumn wind sweeping away fallen leaves, you began to wield the long sword in your hand, its blade glowing with a sinister blue light. Your movements were crisp and clean, the sword technique intricate and profound, and paired with fierce sword energy, along with that cool, distant face. It slammed straight into Wei Ying's heart. From this moment on, Wei Ying's immortal path officially began. Good. Cut. Yang Ying called out. Stage crew, get ready. Props team, move in. Set up the next scene. The crew hurried into action. Yang Ying was also reviewing the footage they had just shot. Your assistant, Chen, walked over and handed you a thermos. Brother Yuan, your sword dance just now was amazing. Can you teach me? I want to learn it for self-defense. You handed him the cup, freed a hand, and lightly pinched his cheek. Then you said softly, that swordsmanship is just flashy show. It looks good, but it is useless in a real fight. If you want to build your body and learn another skill, I can teach you. But if you are counting on it for self-defense, my advice is, you should learn grappling instead. Qinghan nodded. I see. Got it, Brother Yuan. You were huddled together discussing self-defense techniques, waiting for the next scene to start, when Qinghan's voice suddenly came over. Yuan, we meet again. How is it? Are you getting used to acting for the first time? Your conversation with Chen stalled. A vague sense of caution rose in your heart, but you still answered politely. Hello, Senior Gu. I feel like everything is going pretty well. The director is very patient, and all the seniors and crew members are easy to get along with. That's good. Qinghan nodded with a smile. You pressed your lips together, then instinctively took a step back. Last time at the audition, you had thought Sister Sue was being a little too worried. You were just a newcomer, so why would someone as popular as Qinghan pay special attention to you? But now, looking at the gentle smile on Qinghan's face, the caution in your heart only grew stronger. It seems like you do not know her, do you? As if noticing your movement, Qinghan froze for a moment. Then she seemed to realize something belatedly. She laughed first. Look at my memory. I forgot to tell you. No wonder you were wary of me and treated me like a bad person. Yuan, let me introduce myself properly. My name is Qinghan. I graduated from A University's acting department, class of 2020. Teacher who is my mentor. Teacher who looked after me while I was still in school. And even after graduation, he helped introduce me to a lot of opportunities. You could say, I am where I am today, thanks to his guidance and support. When I went back to the school to visit my mentor last time, I heard about you from him. I also saw the group assignment you did in acting class back in school. Honestly, it was the first time I had ever heard Teacher who mention the same student's name so many times. Yuan, Teacher who really likes you. When he heard that, because of family reasons, you could not enter the entertainment industry to act, he thought it was a real pity. Who would have thought that just a few months after graduation, you were already in the industry? Hearing Qinghan's explanation, you finally understood. No wonder she was willing to help read lines with you at the audition, and even greeted you first. She was your senior from the same school. That made things a little awkward. You had even misunderstood her before and thought she had bad intentions. You really were being small-minded and judging a good person by your own narrow assumptions. After realizing that, you did not hedge or fidget. You apologized sincerely at once. I'm sorry, Senior. I did not know who you were earlier. So there were many misunderstandings. My manager told me, the entertainment industry is not as innocent as it used to be. He told me to stay on guard about everything, and to assume the worst when something happens. That is why I misunderstood you. Qinghan waved a hand dismissively. No need to apologize. Your manager is right. The entertainment industry really has changed for the worse. There is nothing wrong with protecting yourself, and there is nothing wrong with assuming the worst of others. I explained it to you, without meaning to blame you. I was just afraid you might overthink it. After all, we used to study under the same teacher, and now we are in the same production crew, with quite a few shared scenes ahead. Given that connection, I should at least say hello and look out for you a little. This is your first time filming a serious drama, so if there is anything you do not understand, you can ask me. I am not top tier in the industry, but I do have more experience than you, so I should be able to help a little. Okay. Thank you, senior. You nodded and agreed. Just then, Director Yuan called Qinghan over to prepare for the next scene. She ended the conversation and hurried toward the set with long strides. You had no part in the next scene, so you took out the script and kept reading. Meanwhile, Chen beside you leaned over curiously and asked, Brother Yuan, you graduated from a university's acting department? And you are senior Qinghan's junior. Why? You looked up at him. Chen's eyes were sparkling. Don't you think that is kind of dreamy? A traffic star senior and a handsome newbie junior. That setup is so shippable. You could not take it anymore. You rolled up the script and gave Chen a light but firm tap on the head. Xiao. If you keep shipping random couples and acting crazy everywhere, I am going to tell Sister Sue about changing assistants. No, Brother Yuan, I won't ship them anymore. Don't fire me. Chen immediately begged for mercy. I really love being your assistant. I get to stick close to handsome guys every day. Why does this kid seem a little unhinged? You shook your head helplessly. You stopped paying him any mind. You focused on studying the script and prepared for the next scene. Time flew by. After you nailed the last scene of the day in one take, the day's filming tasks were finally winding down. Everyone on the crew started packing up. After changing back into your regular clothes, you and Chen stood at the entrance to the set, waiting for the car Sister Sue had sent to take you back, because filming had just started today. The workload was not too heavy. Most of the scenes were also focused on the female lead's early days after entering Qingyun's sect. So aside from Miao, the role you played, the other romantic interest around the female lead, Wei Ying, had not appeared yet. So you had no chance to meet the actors playing the other roles. After getting into the van, you yawned. A tiring but fulfilling day was over. You really wanted to sleep, but just as you were about to drift off, Chen's shout jolted you awake. Brother Yuan, look at Weibo. You made the hot search. You've blown up. With Chen yelling at full volume, you logged into your main Weibo account. The top spots on the hot search were already flooded with Immortal Path posts. It turned out that after filming wrapped, Director Yang, to keep Immortal Path trending before the premiere, had specially released 3 clips. The first was the sword dance clip of you as Miao. The second was Qinghan as Wei Ying in a conflict with someone else. The third was a highlight reel of behind-the-scenes footage. Those 3 videos blew up Weibo on the spot, dominating the top of the hot search rankings. The comment section was even more explosive. My husband is so badass. He is killing me. Hubby, don't fall for that big jerk Wei Ying. Come on, bro. Did you forget you are a novel fan of Immortal Path? I did not forget. I am a fan of Immortal Path, but not a fan of the female lead. I just love all kinds of handsome men in it, especially my precious Miao, who is gorgeous, badass, and full of compassion. As for Wei Ying, that big jerk, I have to politely pass. Amid the heated discussion, a lot of targeted comments suddenly popped up. Unbelievable. A newcomer actor buying hot searches every day. Isn't that annoying? Fang Yuan is just the fake young master who stole someone else's place. Does he deserve such good opportunities? Once the news that Fang Yuan was the fake young master broke, the netizens, whether they were arguing or just discussing, all stopped. After a brief silence, a flood of onlookers rushed in. Your Weibo was instantly overrun. But at that moment, you had already washed up and fallen fast asleep. You had no idea about the storm raging online. Inside the Mu family villa, Mu Wanning looked at the online uproar, and her lips curled into a cold smile. Since the Fang family does not know what is good for them, they can't blame her for playing dirty. She wanted to see how the Fang family would respond. Would they stand with the biological son, Jinnian, or would they stand with the fake son they had raised for more than a decade? You? The phone rang. She glanced at the caller ID, Chen. In a very good mood, she answered. Hello. Chen. You did well. For the male lead in director Wang's new project backed by the Mu family. I think you are a perfect fit. Go audition tomorrow. Relax. The audition is just a formality. The male lead will definitely be yours. On the other end of the call, Chen smiled brilliantly and blew a kiss at the phone. Hee hee. Thank you, Miss Shen. When can we go out and have some fun? Chen misses you. Soon. You little vixen. Just wait. Sure. Okay, Miss Shen. He hung up. Chen's expression instantly turned cold. Watching your sword dance on the computer screen, he casually swept the cup off the table and onto the floor. Bastard. Before. Because you were Mu Wanning's fiancé. Mu Wanning always put on a falsely lofty air and never let Chen cross the line. Every time she came back disappointed from you, she took her frustration out on him. Now that it had finally been exposed that you were the fake young master, the Fang family not only failed to kick you out, they even sent you into the entertainment industry. Watching you play just one role, and still blow up before the show even aired. Chen was so jealous he was grinding his teeth. Why were things always so smooth for you? One role, and you go viral beyond the fan circle. Meanwhile, he had to claw his way through the entertainment industry. He only got decent roles by sleeping with producers and directors. If he had not latched onto Mu Wanning, he would still be bouncing from one big shot's bed to another, sleeping his way to opportunities. Compared to you, he was like a rat living in a gutter, only able to look up in envy. But now, watching the insults aimed at you online, he finally smiled. Fang Yuan, I want to see, after a scandal like this breaks on you, whether you can still make it in the entertainment industry. Father Fang and Mother Fang did not follow the internet, and you and Jinnian were both busy with your own things. So, you had already collapsed into bed and fallen fast asleep. After Su Wanru saw the comments online, she tried contacting you several times but no one answered, so she had no choice but to call by Ningbing. Fortunately, the call went through. Boss, Mr. Fang Yuan's identity has been leaked by some insider, and it's already spread online. The comments online are all over the place, with all kinds of things being said. But Mr. Fang Yuan's phone still has not been answered. What do you think? Bai Ningbing had just landed several major projects recently, and was so busy she still had not eaten. After hearing Su Wanru's words, she fell silent. As a CEO, she truly could not understand why, as a newcomer, there were people trying to hurt you every single day. This was already the second time. She could not help wavering again. Was letting you enter the entertainment industry really the right choice? She was not short on money, and did not need her future partner to go out and earn a living. Why should she put you, her white moonlight, into that messy world called the entertainment industry? The thought of locking you away stirred again. Still getting no answer, Su Wanru had to ask again. Boss, about Mr. Fang Yuan. Su Wanru. Bai Ningbing suddenly cut her off, her voice carrying a hint of fatigue. Do you think he is suited for the entertainment industry? What? Bai Ningbing's question completely stunned Su Wanru. Boss, why are you asking this? Isn't that obvious? Mr. Fang Yuan does not have any signature work, but just based on playing a Miao, he has been hitting the hot search repeatedly in just half a month. That already proves he has public goodwill and real potential. And don't say it's only because the role is good. No matter how good the role is, if he cannot carry it, it means nothing. He is a natural artist, born to make a living at this. No one was more suited to the entertainment industry than he was. But he had barely stepped one foot in, and he had already been screwed over twice. Bai Ningbing's voice was a little low. Hearing that, Su Wanru's heart gave a hard lurch. No way. Are you regretting letting him into the industry now? If it had been before, she would have agreed without hesitation. But now, after seeing your passion for acting, after seeing the dense notes all over your script, she knew that as long as you were given time, you would definitely win Best Actor. No manager was without ambition. When you saw a talent this promising, what manager would not be tempted? Now the boss was actually thinking of cutting off your career, just because someone had sabotaged you. She would never allow that. Boss, every flower in bloom face is the fate of being picked, but you can't let him rot in the dirt because of that. Su Wanru's tone was firm. The fault lies with the person who picks the flower, not with the flower. There are many ways to protect a flower, but whichever one it is never by stopping it from blooming. Silence fell on the other end of the line. Su Wanru glanced at her phone screen. Good. It was still connected. After a long while, Bai Ningbing's tired voice came through the line. I know. You don't need to worry about the rest. I will handle it. The busy signal blared. Su Wanru sighed. She thought, the boss really was still too young. If she really cut off your career over something this small, she was sure that with your stubborn nature, he could forget about ever winning you over in this lifetime. After hanging up, Bai Ningbing thought for a very long time. She knew her thinking was wrong, but she just could not stop worrying. You are wonderful. You should not have to bear this malice. But Su Wanru was not wrong. The way to protect a flower was never to stop it from blooming. She could not change the entertainment industry completely, but she was confident she could protect you. And besides, although this was troublesome, it was also an opportunity. It could also show her how much pressure you can take, and also whether the Fang family was worth you staying with. After thinking it through, Bai Ningbing picked up her phone again. With a flick of her fingers, she sent out several messages. Asleep yet? Get up and work. Pay people to do it. Ban every account on Weibo that says Fang Yuan is the fake young master. No need to wipe them all out. Just suspend them for one night. As for the rest, let him and the Fang family handle it themselves tomorrow. Jiami, who was enjoying a late-night snack with Shenji, saw the message and immediately felt awful. That scheming, love-struck boss was making people work after hours again. Shenji was busy munching skewers, and when she saw Jiami looking like she had just swallowed something disgusting, she hurried over to look. After seeing the message clearly, she froze for a second, then quickly looked away, terrified that Jiami would drag her in as free labor. But clearly, it was already too late. Jiami grabbed her by the neck. Ji, you have to help me. We are both the boss's special assistants. There's no reason I should be the one working overtime, while you sit there leisurely drinking and eating skewers. You tell me I am wrong. Let go of me. The boss called you. Why should I be the one doing the work? Shenji struggled hard, while the two of them wrestled with each other. Bai Ningbing's message came through again. Shenji is with you, right? Let her help you. Seeing the message, Jiami grinned. She locked Shenji in a chokehold. See, the boss gave the order. Wrap it up. Get to work. Shenji slapped Jiami's hand away and moved to grab the laptop. Another message from Bai Ningbing came through. You two have worked hard. It's the end of the month. This month's salary is already being calculated. It is not convenient to change it now, but next month's pay can be adjusted. Next month, your bonuses will be doubled. Seeing that last line, Shenji nearly jumped up, and she did not care whether Bai Ningbing could hear her or not. The word mom burst out of her mouth, smooth as silk. Thanks, mom. I am going to work right now. Just watch me. She snatched up her computer at full speed, booted it up, opened Weibo, and contacted the paid trolls, all in one smooth motion. Jiami's hand paused as she was still replying. She added a line at the end of the message. Shenji says thanks, mom. She is going to work right now. Just watch. After hitting send, Jiami put away her phone, laughing to herself. When the boss saw this message, her expression was sure to be priceless. When Bai Ningbing received the message, the corner of her mouth did twitch. Looking at what Jiami had sent on her phone screen, she helplessly closed the chat window. She took her coat and left the company. Driving her Rolls-Royce, Bai Ningbing arrived at the snack street behind a university. She moved through the bustling crowd and stopped in front of a noodle shop packed to the rafters. She pushed the door open and went in. Boss, one bowl of hand-rolled noodles. To go. Her cool voice rang out in the noisy noodle shop, and the Italian custom-made dress she wore made it painfully clear she did not belong here. The hand-rolled noodles are 9 yuan. The takeout box is 1 yuan. 10 yuan total. Scan here, the proprietress replied, scribbling the order down with quick hands. Only after passing the slip through the window did she look up and see who it was. Oh, isn't this Ningbing? It's been so long since I last saw you. What brings you here? Angia, I've been interning lately. The clothes are for work. Bai Ningbing's tone softened a lot. I worked overtime today, and I still haven't eaten. I suddenly got a real craving for your noodles, so I took a detour just to come by some. Then I will tell your uncle about it, and have him put in extra noodles for you. Angia said as she spoke, then lifted the curtain aside and squeezed into the kitchen. When she came back out, she saw Bai Ningbing scanning to pay, and quickly stopped her. No need to pay. If it had not been for you kids kindly helping us back then, my child would have been ruined. All these years, you have always taken good care of our business, and even helped promote our business. With so many people around, we could never stop you from paying. Now that it is just you here, don't even think about paying. It is not easy for young people out there making a living. Ningbing had no choice but to put her phone away, and Jia looked at her and suddenly remembered something. Oh, right, Ningbing. I heard from your roommate that you like that boy Yuan. Is that true or not? Ningbing smiled, but said nothing. Just then, a voice came from the kitchen. The noodles are ready. Along with the voice, a plain, honest middle-aged man came out carrying the packed noodles. He set them down in front of Ningbing. Ningbing, your noodles. Thank you, Uncle D. And Jia, Uncle D. I'm heading off now. Not long after Ningbing left, the payment machine on the counter suddenly chimed. WeChat Pay received 10,000 yuan. The couple was stunned. They hurried to pull up the payment record and saw that the note for the 10,000 yuan payment read, "And Jia, Uncle D, keep it. I don't need this little bit of money, but you do. When I win over my senior, I'll bring him here to eat noodles with you." Ningbing looked at the payment success message on her phone screen, then turned off the screen and floored the accelerator. The car quickly melted into the night, vanishing completely from the street outside the snack lane behind a university. On Weibo, as Jia Mi and Shen Ji went to work, many accounts spreading rumors that Fang Yuan was the fake young master, as well as the netizens who had followed along to mock him, suddenly found themselves muted for 12 hours. In other words, for the rest of the night, they could not post any more text or videos. It was basically a soft ban. They were stunned and furious, and all ran to other social platforms to vent. The most stunned of all were the paid internet trolls bought off by Chen. No way. After handling so many jobs, this was their first time getting accounts banned. Didn't the client say he was just a newcomer with no background? Someone who can mute and ban accounts on Weibo whenever they want is supposed to have no background? Are you kidding me? They had every reason to be angry. To push the narrative, they even used a few major influencer accounts. Even though it was only a 12-hour ban, it had already affected their other work. Those accounts had more than one job tonight. The followers and trolls could only grumble and regret it. As for the mastermind paying for the trolls, Chen's #1 fan, Lan King, he only frowned tighter. Lan King came from a decent family when he was young. Later, because his parents were too cautious and missed the new market trend, the family fell on hard times. He had been bottling up resentment for years. After entering the entertainment industry, he valued success above everything else. He was obsessed with Chen. He felt Chen's self-made hustle looked a lot like his own, so he became a die-hard fan. He even spent money helping Chen suppress his rivals. This time, the reason he exposed your fake young master identity was partly because Chen hinted at it, and partly because he personally could not stand you. Why should you be born with a rich family halo? Even if it was fake, you still got the Fang family's favor and premium opportunities. Meanwhile, he and Chen had to fight with everything they had just to survive at the bottom. But now, all the troll accounts he paid for had been banned. Even his main account was not spared. Lan King stared at the mute notice on his phone screen, shaking all over with rage. Fang Yuan, what exactly is your background? What he did not know was, this was only the beginning. What Ningbing was going to do was far more than just banning a few accounts.